know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way.
Normal lessons I was going over these past 2 weeks. A quick sidebar. We want to make sure we focus on the topic at hand regarding the whole Jew thing with Ye and Kyrie. So we're going to deal with that today. I got to deal with it. I can't let it go. I can't let it slide. I'm not going to let it slide.
So you can't take no more?
Nah, I can't take no more.
Take this shit no more.
Yeah. So those of you who are watching, whether you may be a celebrity or not, I hope you are watching, so you can add this to your arsenal. I'm gonna give y'all the historical and biblical ammunition.
All praises.
Ammunition that you can use to defend yourselves against the slander of being a anti-Semite, whatever the hell that means. So let's get into it. The topic is entitled Israeli versus Israelite.
Check the title.
Nominal versus the native. All right. Israeli versus Israelite. I'm gonna try to be as very politically correct as I possibly can. You know, you people out there that run the media, you know who you are. You're very sensitive. You know, I don't know how you became descendants of David and words hurt your feelings. I don't know how that happened. David was a mighty man. Words didn't hurt his feelings. Somehow they hurt yours. So that makes you questionable alone in terms of descendants of that man. So we're gonna first start off by dealing with the etymology of the word Israeli. So real quick, let's go into the etymology of the word Israeli, real quick, because that term was coined in 1948. No, Google it. Yeah, Google the etymology of the term Israeli. Israeli. I'll be using that word all day today. I know the algorithm, if you say Jewish, something like that, automatically they start, getting, nervous. So blow it up some. We're going to read the definition of Israeli.
Israeli, citizen of the state of Israel.
So an Israeli is a citizen of the state of Israel. When?
1948.
That is the year that they were established as a state. That is the year that this word was coined. Israeli. Okay, read on.
From Israel. Hebrew national designation suffix. All right.
I. They added an I. So they added an E as a Hebrew designation, a Yiddish designation. E. So they added an E at the end, or the I. Go ahead. Israeli or Israeli. Go ahead.
Also used in English as the adjective 1948.
That's when it was coined. The same time they became a state, Israel became a state, they became Israelis or Israeli, whatever. Go ahead.
It distinguishes...
Go on, stop right there. It says this word right here distinguishes, meaning separates what?
The citizens of the modern state.
It distinguishes the citizens of the land, go ahead,
from the ancient people who had been known in English since 14C as Israelites.
As Israelites. So you call yourself an Israeli, you're saying you're not
Right.
An Israelite.
Right.
You are an inhabitant of the land. You're not a descendant of the man. That's what you're saying in your own definition. Now, I'm pretty sure if this keeps being used, they're going to edit it and change it around eventually. So just be mindful of that. When you come across this again and find it altered or slightly altered.
Right.
Because our words,
Right.
they hold weight.
Right.
So an Israeli is a person that is a citizen of the land, not a descendant of the man. Meaning you're not an Israelite.
Right.
These people who call themselves Jewish today do not call themselves Israelites. If they do, it's very rare. They call themselves Jewish or they call themselves Israelis. Now, I heard a new defense they have now for calling them Jewish. They'll say, well, if you call a person that's from Poland Polish, they're from Poland, they're Polish. Okay, cool. I got you. So you're trying to be a little slick. That's your defense. Cool. So I won't use the word Jewish anymore. I'll just call you Israelis.
That's it.
Because by your own definition, you're not an Israelite. You just live there. You're not of the man.
Right.
You're not of those people in the 14th century that were there before you. Well, before the 14th century, you're an inhabitant.
Right.
You're a renter. You're a squatter.
A squatter, yes.
You're a squatter. So Israelis is all I'll call you for the rest of the lesson. Now, well, I'll try my best. Give me the definition of native. Miriam. The nominal versus the native. Israeli versus Israelite. So an Israelite is a descendant of the man and the original inhabitant of the land. An Israeli is an inhabitant of the modern state of the land.
Right.
Two different things. Because Israel's land extended far beyond what it is now. Far beyond. All right, let's read that. Native.
Native, adjective, inborn, innate. Belonging, innate.
Yes.
Belonging to a particular place by birth.
Belonging to a particular place by birth. Like, for example, you have Native Americans. They were here first. They're
Right.
called Native Americans or Aboriginals. Aboriginals. Go ahead. Next one.
Archaic, closely related.
Go ahead, go down. Right there.
Belonging to or associated with one by birth.
Yeah, Jacob. We are Israelites by birth. We are native Israelites because we descend from that man. Go ahead.
Natural, normal.
Normal, natural, normal. Go down.
Grown, produced, or originating in a particular place or in the vicinity.
That's native. Born or produced or originating in a particular place or in the vicinity. Read on.
Living or growing naturally in a particular region.
That's Israelites. Go ahead. That's all I want. So that's what a native is. That's a native Israelite. So the Israelis distinguish themselves by definition from the native Israelites. Right. The modern Israelis are inhabitants of the land. The Israelites that preceded them in the 14th century, before 1948, are native Israelites. That land belonged to them. They were descendants of the man and then the original inhabitants of the land. So you're an Israeli. We can go with that. All right, we can deal with that. Now, give me the definition of nominal. 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 We'll come across this word later on. Nominal. Yep, A-L. Yep. Read that.
Nominal, adjective, of relating to or being a noun.
Nah, Google it. Go to Google. I want this stuff. I don't want this, Miriam. Just Google it. Nominal. This is a lot better. These are a lot better. These are the terms we use. Bring it down. Nominal. Read that.
Of a role or status existing in name only.
Whoa. Of a role or status existing in name only. Read the synonyms, please. Click the arrow. Read that.
Titular, formal, official, ceremonial, theoretical, purported, supposed,
ostensible,
self-styled,
or
so-called,
so-called.
Wait a minute.
What's the next one?
would be,
What's the antonym? Opposite.
real.
So they're nominals. Israeli, nominal. That's what I'll call you today. Nominals and Israelis. That's your name. so-called, of a role or status existing in name only, like a Jewish person, okay, or tutelar. It says in name, title only, in gray, the first one. In name or title only, tutelar, titular, whatever, formal, so-called, self-styled. That's religious.
Right.
Self-styled.
Yes, sir.
Rabbinical, Talmudic, self-styled.
I like that theoretical.
Theoretically,
Meaning
yes.
It doesn't have to be proven.
Hypothetically.
It doesn't have to be. Theories don't have to be proven.
Right. Theoretical. That's you. Nominal, Israeli. It's all relative. Supposed. Right. Now let's get Revelation 2 and 9, please. Let's just jump into it already, because most so-called nominals or Israelis, they reject the Messiah. They don't believe in the Messiah.
I wonder why.
And in the Talmud, they say that he's burning in hell in hot excrement. That's in your Talmud. I'm going to do it with your Talmud later on, too, if I have the time. Please let me have time. Revelation 2 and 9 and 3 and 9.
Revelations chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation.
So John is saying to his people, the churches of Israel in Asia Minor, I know thy works in tribulation. Go ahead.
And poverty.
And you being impoverished in a low state. Go ahead.
But thou art rich.
But we're rich because everything is promised us in the Bible. The kingdom, the glory, the world, everything. The blessings, the inheritance, all is promised to Israel. So we are the rich. Read on.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews. Which say they are Jews. Go ahead.
And are not.
They're not. They're nominal.
Right.
These are nominal. They're not real. In name only, but they're not the real ones. Go ahead.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
But they're the devil. The Bible speaks of the chief house of Satan. Because in their house, they run off. They're the chief house. They run off. They run everything. And that's what Ye was saying before.
Right.
That their hands are in everything. And in everyone's pocket, their hands. They control the minds, the hearts, the souls, and the eyes of the people.
Right.
With social media, music, sports, fashion, news, movies, everything. They're the chief house. That's the synagogue of the devil. They run the IMF, the World Bank, all of that. I'm hearing news that they're mobsters too. They're extorting rappers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Look, JDL called?
Yes.
JDL.
Yeah.
ADL. What a coincidence.
Jewish Defense League.
Jewish Defense League.
Yeah. They extorting gangster ass rappers at that.
Wow. So shouldn't I nothing on Steiner?
Nope.
Wow.
Right. Finkelstein.
Finkelstein has got more clout than Suge Knight. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So read 3 and 9 now.
Revelation.
This is not hate. This is Bible. This is Bible. A brother caught hell quoting this scripture, I believe.
Yes.
He just quoted it. They're like, oh, anti-Semite. He said, that's just the Bible. I didn't say anything. Right. I just posted it. I said it right there. You guys, why y'all so scared, man?
Yep.
Why y'all so fidgety? You guys is multi-millionaires, own blocks, got your own communities, your own government. America gave you guys military technology and forces, and you just scared over some words?
Right.
Something wrong.
And go into Israel, you can tell they're living in a paranoid state because they stole everything.
Yes.
They stole. You know, somebody coming to
Like
get their
that drug
bike
dealer.
back.
Looking over his shoulder.
When they come back to get their bike back. You are paranoid that somebody's gonna take it because you stole it.
Right.
You stole it.
You're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
Give me 3 and 9.
Revelation chapter 3, verse 9.
Just in case you're confused regarding 2 and 9.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews.
Say they are Jews in name only, title only. Go ahead.
And are not.
They're not. They're nominal. Go ahead.
But do lie.
But they're lying about being Jews. Go ahead.
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
So he's talking to Israelis. And he's telling the Israelis now that they're going to bow down before the Israelites.
That's right.
Soon. Come on, Putin. You take it too long.
Right. Come out that bunker and press
Come on,
that
man. You
thing,
got you got the freaking
Putin playing games.
Disney. You got the freaking technological submarine that can create damn waves, submarine and flood New York.
Right.
Come on, man. I know the Lord's holding you back. I understand. I'm not going to rush. The Most High is in his hands. Let's get Luke 1 and 5. So the Lord calls those who say that they are Jews and are not liars, and that they're the devil the Bible speaks of. That's what the Messiah said, and that's why these particular nominals or Israelis most of them denounce the Messiah of the Bible, because they know what he's saying is referring to them.
Right.
This is not anti-Semitism. This is Bible.
Right.
Unless, of course, the Bible is anti-Semitic, but then you have to ask yourself, well, that would mean that the prophets are, anti-Semitic, but
Right.
that's impossible because they're Semites.
Right.
And John the Revelator was a Jew, so, he was a Semite. So he can't be against himself, right? Writing down what a Jew told him to write. Luke 1 and 5.
Luke.
Regarding them which say they are Jews. Luke 1 and 5.
Luke chapter 1, verse 5. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias of the course of Abiah, and his wife was the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before God.
No, get verse 4 and verse 5 again.
Yes, sir. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea.
Right there. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea. When you say king of Judea, he's the king of the Jews. To be a king of the Jews, you got to be a Jew. This man was not a Jew. This man was Jewish. Herod comes from a family of Idumeans that were converted to the Judaic customs, or the Bible, pretty much. I'm going to get into that soon. Herod was of a dynasty of Herods. That came out of a man named Antipater. Antipater or Antipater. I'm going to delve into that today, because it's in their books. I'm going to use their books to show what I'm talking about. A black man's voice don't mean a damn thing to y'all. So
Right.
we gotta get the white man to co-sign what I'm saying so you can agree, you can
Right.
understand. So that's Bible. Oh, white man wrote that. Okay. So Herod was the king of the Jews, but he was not a Jew himself. He was Jewish. He was an Israeli. Okay?
Not an
a
Israelite.
nominal, not an Israelite. He was a nominal. Him and his people. Now, give me Westminster now. Westminster. This is a Westminster dictionary here. The New Westminster Dictionary of the Bible by Gemin. I want page 379. I'll read along with you. Page 379, I want. 379. We're going to read the definition of Herod, the Westminster. I didn't give you 379? No. And I need 379. The Westminster here, right? 240, 241. All right. Y'all better say something.
Let me just read it. Oh.
Yeah, you can read it. You can read it. I want to see it. Okay. So they can't say I'm reading it. We're making it up. Right. The top paragraph on the
Yes,
right.
sir. All right. Page 379. Herod, offspring of a hero.
That's what it means. That's what Herod means. Hero. He was no hero, but that's what his name means. Offspring of a hero. Go ahead.
The name of several rulers.
The name of several. It became a dynasty. Several rulers fell under that name. Go ahead.
Over Palestine and the adjacent regions or portions of them. 3 are mentioned in the New Testament by the name of Herod, and 1 by the name of Agrippa.
You had Herod Archelaus, Herod Philip, Herod Agrippa. You had a number of them. Herod Archelaus. I said Archelaus already. Philip, the Tetrarch, Archelaus, Philip, and Agrippa II, and Berenice, who was his sister, who he was married to in Acts 26. Go ahead.
Herod, number 1, Herod the Great.
That's the first one that tried to kill Christ.
He was the second son of the Idumean Antipas or Antipater.
He was the second son of Antipater, an Idumean, which is an Edomite. The Greek Latin form of Edom is Idumea. Go ahead.
By his wife Cypros, who was of the same race. Thus, neither by the father's nor by the mother's side was Herod a real Jew.
Neither by his father's side nor his mother's side was he a real Jew, yet he was called King of the Jews. Read on.
Though the Idumeans, who had been conquered by John Hyrcanus,
The Idumeans were conquered by an Hasmonean family, the Maccabee family. You had Simon, Eleazar, Joannan, Judas. There was 5 of them. And Simon was killed. His son survived. Simon was assassinated. His son John who became John Hyrcanus, survived. And he began to expand Jerusalem more and more, its territories. So to expand territory, the nations are either going to bow down or get removed.
Right.
So they chose to bow down. Read it again.
All right. Thus, neither by the father's nor the mother's side was Herod a real Jew, though the Idumeans, who had been conquered by John Hyrcanus and compelled to be circumcised,
They were forced to be circumcised. Go ahead.
And adopt Judaism.
And they had to adopt Judaism forcefully. He was not a real Jew on his father's side or mother's side. Go ahead.
Had now become nominally Jews.
These Edomites became nominally
so-called
Jews.
That's some good stuff right there.
They became so-called Jews. So when Christ was making that, when Christ told John, I know the blasphemy them will say they are Jews, he was talking about them.
Damn.
He was talking about them. He was referring to
stuff.
the ones that Ye was talking about. That's what he was talking about. The problem with Ye is saying that we're Jews too. That's wrong.
Jew also.
Also, that's the wrong word. We're Jews, period.
Right.
There's no also. There's no two. Jews, period. So that's in their dictionary, Westminster Dictionary. Okay, that's page 379. All right? Now, let's get 1 Maccabees 16:23 to show John in the Bible, because he's in here. 1 Maccabees, this is when he was assassinated by his son-in-law, unfortunately, because his son-in-law sought power, and he had his father-in-law kill his, Simon's daughter married him, and he had Simon killed. 1 Maccabees chapter 16 and verse 23.
1 Maccabees chapter 16, verse 23. As concerning the rest of the acts of John.
John is John Hyrcanus. This is Simon's son. Go ahead.
And his wars, and worthy deeds which he did, and the building of the walls which he made, and his doings.
Go ahead.
Behold, these are written in the chronicles of his priesthood, from the time he was made high priest after his father.
After his father Simon. So this John was the one who helped Jerusalem to expand exponentially. And in the midst of our territory expanding, nations, Edom is in our way. Listen, you guys are either going to conform or get killed. Conform or be killed. They said, we'll conform. And that was it. And they became nominal Jews from that day forward. Antipater and other Idumeans. Antipater was the one that sat in the council of the Hasmonean seat. He was like the Hasmonean family's counselor, and he slithered his way into being our brother's right-hand man, and the Romans gave him power, and his son's power to reign over us because they knew our laws. Give me Acts 26. Is that Acts 26, I think it is, where Paul mentions it? Yep. Just to show how they are nominal. The Bible points it out. I think it's Acts 26 and 3. Acts 26, verse 3.
I think you got verse 7, too. Yeah, verse 3.
Read that.
Acts chapter 26, verse 3.
This is a conversation that Paul is having, a Jew, real one, is having with a nominal Jew, Agrippa, a Herod. Go ahead.
Especially because I know thee to be expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews.
Because he was born and raised, converted. Converts. He's a convert.
All right.
Okay? That was set over us by the Romans. That was set over the Jews, the real ones, by the Romans. Is there more? You said verse 7, you said?
No, you can stop it there.
Or verse 3. Read again.
Especially because I know thee to be expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews. Wherefore I beseech thee to hear me patiently.
Who's he talking to? Read verse 1.
Verse 1. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, Thou art permitted to speak for thyself. Then Paul stretched forth the hand and answered for himself.
So Paul was talking to Herod Agrippa, a descendant of Idumeans that were converted forcefully to the Judaic custom or religion and became nominal Jews, nominally Jews, so-called, in name or title only, but not by mother or father. That's what the dictionary said earlier. Now, give me Westminster again. Westminster one more time. Page 240 and 241. Let me get it. Yep, and we're going to, you got that, right? 240 and 241? Yeah.
The New Westminster Dictionary
Go to
of the Bible.
Edomites. Go to, yep, the New Westminster Dictionary of the Bible. Go to Edomites now. Page 240.
Edomites, the descendants of Edom, i.e., Esau.
An example, Esau. That's all I wanted. Now jump over to page 241, and I want start at. Give me a moment. Start at the Edomites rejoiced. That's in the bottom. The Edomites rejoiced
On the left side.
on the left-hand side.
Up a little bit.
Right there. With Nebuchadnezzar. The Edomites rejoiced with Nebuchadnezzar. Right there.
Up a little bit.
Right there. It's right there. Yep. The Edomites
You see it?
rejoiced.
No, sir.
I'll read it. Edomites rejoiced. The Edomites rejoiced when Nebuchadnezzar destroyed Jerusalem.
The Edomites rejoiced when Nebuchadnezzar destroyed Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Psalms 137, verse
We're
7.
going to read that.
The prophets foretold the calamities that should befall Edom for its inveterate enmity towards Israel.
So the prophet spoke against the Edomites numerous times for this evil that they had done. Get Psalm real quick, Psalm 37. Psalm 37, verse 7 to 8.
Psalms chapter 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof.
The race, it is the temple. Burn it, destroy it to the foundation thereof. So there's nothing left standing. They destroyed the first temple. The Edomites burned the first temple along with the Babylonians. They were in complete compliance with them. That it?
Verse 8. O daughter of Babylon.
Was David calling Edom?
O daughter of Babylon.
David called Edom the daughter of Babylon. This same daughter of Babylon is the same Babylon in the book of Revelation. It's the same Babylon. Go ahead.
Who art to be destroyed.
Go ahead.
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
That's all I want. So Edom helped destroy the temple in Jerusalem when the Babylonians came in. When the Babylonians, a Cushite empire, came in and overthrew us for our rebellion against them. Continue reading here. The prophets.
Got it?
The prophets foretold the calamities that should befall Edom for its inveterate enmity toward Israel.
Come on.
Ezekiel 35, 5 through 6. But announced its ultimate incorporation into the kingdom of God.
Go down to Joel. When the captivity.
When the captivity of the two tribes rendered the territory of Judah somewhat destitute.
Right, when Babylon overthrew us, it was somewhat destitute, somewhat because you had the poor left there. But for the most part, we were taken out in waves. We were scattered over the place. We were exiled. Go ahead, deported. Go ahead.
Somewhat destitute of inhabitants. The Edomites seized on it as far as Hebron.
So what you're going to find is that the Edomites had an addiction to taking our land away from us, to living in the land that did not belong to them. Repeatedly. I'm going to give you an example. As far as what? As far as what?
Hebron.
Give me First Maccabees. I'm going to show you. I think it's First Maccabees 5, I think it is. But after this took place, the Persians came into rulership, and they gave us liberty to return to our lands. All right? And the Persians had to tell them to get out. First Maccabees, I think it's 5. Yep, First Maccabees 5, verse 64 and 5.
Yes, sir. First Maccabees chapter 5, verse 64. And so much as the people assembled unto them with joyful acclamation.
65, watch this.
Afterward went Judas forth with his brethren.
Judas is John Hyrcanus' uncle, the Maccabee family. Judas and his brethren, go ahead.
And fought against the children of Esau.
Why?
In the land toward the south, where he smote Hebron.
Come on.
And the towns thereof, and pulled down the fortress of it, and burned the towers thereof round about.
Because the Edomites took the land over. When the Babylonians took us out of our land, they went. It was somewhat desolate. They moved in. So whenever Israel was removed from their land, Edom would come and move in. Sound familiar?
Yes, sir.
Now get 2nd Esdras 4 and 50. Well, 1st Esdras 4 and 50, I think it is. First Esdras 4 and 50.
First Esdras, chapter 4, verse 50.
No, I'm sorry. From 1st Esdras 4, verse 44. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Verse 44. And to send away all the vessels that were taken away out of Jerusalem, which Cyrus set apart, when he vowed to destroy Babylon and to send them again thither.
45.
Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple,
Watch this.
which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans.
By the Babylonians. So they said, raise it, raise it. That was Edomites that burned the temple. Now jump to verse 50. Watch this.
Verse 50. And that all the country which they hold should be free without tribute, and that the Edomites should give over the villages of the Jews which then they held.
See? So when the Babylonians came in and pushed us out of our land, Edom moved right in. So whenever Israel was removed from their land, Edom would take the land over. Sounds a lot like what's the term? I believe it's called the Balfour Declaration.
Yes.
Sounds very much like that.
Yep.
Sounds very 1917-ish.
Yes.
Moving into the land under a British mandate, League of Nations. Same exact thing. Rothschilds being involved.
Right.
We read. I know one of your biggest mistakes was letting us read, man.
Right.
We read now. We can read now. You understand? So now, let's go back to where we're at. Dictionary again.
Yes, sir. The Edomites seized on it as far as Hebron, and were themselves supplanted in Mount Seir by the Nabateans.
Right. The Arabs came in there and somewhat removed them from their land as well. The Nabateans, Arabs. Go ahead.
The political power of Edom was really completely at an end when Nabonidus made Tema his place of residence.
Nabonidus is a Babylonian king. He was Belshazzar's father, and he was the first over Babylon. And then Belshazzar was second, and he made Daniel third over the kingdom. Nabonidus, Belshazzar, then Daniel. So Nabonidus removed a lot of Edomites from Teman. They were displaced out their land, because Babylonians, they displaced everyone out their land. Right. Whoever they conquered, they displaced. Moab was displaced. Elam was displaced. We were displaced. Edom was displaced. Difference is they returned to their lands. A lot of us stayed scattered from after that. Go ahead.
Judas Maccabees retook Hebron and the other towns that the Edomites had occupied.
We read that earlier in 1st Maccabees. Go ahead.
John Hyrcanus compelled the Edomites to submit to the rite of circumcision and incorporated them with the Jewish people. They became nominal Jews, Jews in name only. Read on. The Herods were Idumeans, i.e. Edomites.
The Herods were Idumeans, i.e. Edomites, that were incorporated into the Jewish people. In name only, nominals. Would say they were, but they were not. Now, get me 2 Kings 24, verse 8 to 14. So, these are in their books. 2 Kings 24 verse 8, I'm sorry.
2 Kings, chapter 24, verse 8. Jehoiakim was 18 years old when he began to reign.
Jehoiakim was a king of Judah, and he was 18 when he began to reign. And he was rebellious as hell. He ruled over the Jews. He was the king of the Jews. No, Jachin, go ahead.
And he reigned in Jerusalem 3 months. And his mother's name was Nehushta.
Brass, go ahead.
The daughter of Elnathan of Jerusalem. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father had done.
Idolatry, go ahead.
At that time, the servants of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up against Jerusalem, and the city was besieged. And Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came against the city, and his servants did besiege it. And Joachim, the king of Judah, went out to the king of Babylon, he and his mother, and his servants, and his princes, and his officers. And the king of Babylon took him in the 8th year of his reign.
Go ahead.
And he carried out thence all the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king's house, and cut in pieces all the vessels of gold which Solomon, king of Israel, had made in the temple of the Lord, as the Lord had said.
Come on.
And he carried away all Jerusalem, and all the princes, and all the mighty men of valor, even 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen and smiths. None remained, save the poorest sort of the people of the land.
That's the somewhat. So the land was somewhat desolate because the poor were allowed to stay and maintain the vines and the fields and so forth under Babylonian. Well, the Babylonians set up governors of our own people over that, but very, very few of us were left in the land. Like Habakkuk was left behind in the land. Okay, so this was the king of the Jews. Jachin was removed from being king. His uncle Zedekiah was put in place. Did the same thing. Got his eyes taken out. Got put to death. And that was the last king. That was the last real king of the Jews. Zedekiah was the last one. All right, that sat in the throne at this point in time until we started getting the elders over us, the Pharisees and so forth that came later on. Now jump to 25, verse 7. No. Jump to 17 to 20.
2 Kings chapter 25, verse 17.
No, 24, 17.
Sorry. 2 Kings 24, verse 17. And the king of Babylon made Mattaniah, his father's brother, king in his stead.
Made his uncle. So Jachin was removed, taken into captivity, and his uncle Zedekiah was put in his place. Mattaniah. Go ahead.
And changed his name to Zedekiah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that Joachim had done. Mm-hmm. For through the anger of the Lord, it came to pass in Jerusalem and Judea until he had cast him out from his presence, that Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon.
Yep, well, 25 now. 25, verse 7. So Zedekiah did the same exact thing that his nephew did. Didn't learn our lesson.
2 Kings 25, verse 7. Mm-hmm. And they slew the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes.
They killed his kids in front of him first. Go ahead.
And put out the eyes of Zedekiah.
Then they took his eyes out afterwards. Go ahead.
And bound him with fetters of brass and carried him to Babylon. And in the 5th month, on the 7th day of the month, which is the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came Nebuzaradan, captain of the guard, a servant of the king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem.
Watch this.
And he burnt the house of the Lord.
The Edomites help. Go ahead.
And the king's house, and all the houses of Jerusalem. And every great man's house burnt he with fire.
Burnt Jerusalem down to the ground. Burnt Jerusalem down to the ground. Now, read on to verse 12.
And all the armies of the Chaldees that were with the captain of the guard break down the walls of Jerusalem round about.
Knock the walls down. Go ahead.
Now the rest of the people that were left in the city, and the fugitives that fell away to the king of Babylon, with the remnant of the multitude, did Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carry away.
Go ahead.
But the captain of the guard left of the poor of the land to be vine dressers and husband.
Worked the plantations. That's what they did in our own land. They colonized us. Left the poor there. That's why I said somewhat desolate. So now, go to what I want. 27:30. Stay in the same chapter. Go to 27, verse 27 to 30. Verse 27.
Verse 27. Mm-hmm. And it came to pass in the 7th and 13th year of the captivity of Joachim,
Go ahead.
King of Judah.
Remember, Joachim, king of the Jews. So this is Joachim. When he got taken captive first, his uncle replaced him. He rebelled as well. Got his eyes taken out. Got put to death. Read on. But while Joachim was in Babylon in captivity, watch this.
In the 12th month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, that
Evil Merodach,
king of Babylon, in the year that he began to reign, did lift up the head of Joachim, king of Judah, out of prison.
Gave him status. Watch this.
And he spake kindly of him, and set his throne above the throne of the kings that were with him in Babylon.
Gave Jachin status. Watch this.
And changed his prison garments. And he did eat bread continually before him
Gave him a job.
all the days of his life.
Come on.
And his allowance was a continual allowance given him of the king, a daily rate for every day, all the days of his life.
So the Lord had mercy on Jachin while in captivity, and this Jachin is the forefather of Zerubbabel. He's the forefather of Zerubbabel. He is the ancestor of Christ. Okay? He is not allowed to sit on the throne anymore, but his children down the line were born in Babylon. That's what the name Zerubbabel itself means, born in Babylon, or the seed of Babylon, because he was born there. Jachin's children were born in Babylon, and that's how Shealtiel was born, who fathered Zerubbabel, and then down the line, you had Joseph, who fathered Christ, and so on and so forth. All right? That's on Matthew 1:18. Matthew 1 and down mentions Joachim. Mentions him. All right? So, now, he was the second to last king of Judah, of the real king of the real Jew king of the Jews. Now, get me Jewish Civilization, page 94. Again, I didn't write this book. Jewish Civilization. That's this book right here. All right? Page 94. Page 94, and we're going to start from in the book, and we're going to end at 11th century.
In the book, this
Hold on,
Torah.
get there with you, so
Yes, sir.
that way you don't go over. Yeah, I know. How much is the book worth, Cat?
The book on Amazon right now is $548.20.
Oh,
Wow.
boy. Oh, boy. Jewish Civilization, $500 book. All for a bunch of pages.
Right.
Page 94, right? 94. Where I say start at from?
In the book,
Yeah, go ahead. Start there.
yes, sir. In the book, Nistorat, the Rabbi Simeon bar Yohai.
Uh-huh.
The secrets of Rabbi Simeon ben Johai.
Yes, Rabbi Simon ben Johai. This is a rabbi that was around during the Dark Ages. Okay, now we're going to read what he said. Watch this. Regarding Edom. Watch this.
Written in Palestine in the 8th century.
Written in Palestine in the 8th century.
Eight.
That's 800s AD. Dark Middle Ages. Watch this.
Hey, 1 second, D. Can you remove the little screen on the actual YouTube so we can see it, because it's blocking some of the words.
All right. Read again.
Written in Palestine in the 8th century.
Uh-huh.
There's a beautiful legend which expresses the feelings of the Jews of that generation.
Of that time, because the Israelites, we were still around, still black of color during this time. Go ahead.
And their hopes for their people.
And there are hopes for their people. Go ahead.
And when he saw the kingdom of the sons of Ishmael with
So this rabbi, he saw that the Arabs, Ishmael, through Islam, would gain strong, heavy dominion over the world. Because Islam grew heavy. It spread worldwide, and they were conquering land by land. Okay? So he saw, okay, the Arabs are going to take over. Because remember, for a long time, Rome ruled. But he saw later on that the Arabs are on the come up. The Muslims are on the come up. So that's what he says.
And when he saw the kingdom of the sons of Ishmael would eventually spread.
Because remember, Muhammad came around was born around the 600s. And around the 700s is when he started spreading the religion, and it spread really fast. Read it again.
And when he saw that the kingdom of the sons of Ishmael,
That's the Arabs. Go ahead.
would eventually spread throughout the world.
And it did. Go ahead.
Simeon bar
Yohai.
Yohai wept and said, Lord of the universe, is it not enough for your sons what the evil kingdom of Edom, Rome, did to them?
Whoa. So our people called Rome Edom. Because it's the same people. The Romans were Edomites, and they set up an Edomite, Idumean, Herod to rule over us. It's the same people. So when Christ said, write this down, John, he said, I know the blasphemy of them would say they are Jews and are not. He was talking to the Herodians, but Romans too.
Right.
Because the Romans became so-called also. It's the same people. He's talking to Edomites in general. But read on.
Lord of the universe, is it not enough for your sons what the evil kingdom of Edom, Rome, did to them? that you must also send the kingdom of Ishmael against
Because
us?
first, after the Romans fell, Ishmael rise up and start enslaving us too, enslaving us also, conquering us too. Go ahead.
The Holy One, blessed be he, answered, do not fear, son of man. For the Holy One, blessed be he, brings the kingdom of Ishmael only to save you from this evil one.
So I raised up, was under the Muslims, we had a bit more freedoms. We had somewhat more freedom because remember the Muslims took the Bible and they used it, they borrowed it. They said, okay, we're going to respect your Judaism because, Islam is borrowed from the Bible. It was. So for a time, we had peace among the Muslims. For a time. Until the Ottoman Turks came up and started destroying us. Go ahead.
And he sets a prophet of his choice over them who will conquer the land of Israel for them.
Go ahead.
And they will come and restore it to the Jews. And there will be a great hatred between them and the children of Esau, Rome.
So the point I wanted out of that was Esau, Rome. That's all I wanted, really, to be honest. Edom and Rome were called the same because it's the same people. Jump down to Babylonian Jewry during the...
Yes, sir. Babylonian Jewry. During the generations in which the Romans succeeded in dimming the glow of the Jewish center in Palestine, Babylonian Jewry was well off.
So prior to the Romans overthrowing us at 70 AD, our status in Babylon was very, very high. It was very, very prominent, okay, before the Romans overthrew us, all right, in Babylon. Read on.
There were neither conversations nor
Conversions.
Conversions, nor plunder there. And neither Greece, Byzantium, nor Edom, Rome
again.
ruled them.
Go ahead.
And the Lord did the Jews a favor.
So in Babylon, we had a lot more freedoms to be ourselves. Because in Byzantine Rome, we could dare to be Christian, or follow Christianity. All right, go ahead. Or among the Romans, the same thing. Go ahead.
And they lived in Babylonia with their Torah from the exile of King Joachim.
Ah, see that? So we stayed in Babylon from the time of King Joachim, read that earlier. Go ahead.
Until these last generations.
Up until the time this is written, up until the 800s. Go ahead.
Midrash, Tanhuma. The Jews who had been living in Babylonia since the exile of Joachim became very numerous, outnumbering any other Jewish center in the diaspora.
So we established, we gained status, and we had schools and governments of learning in Babylonia, Iraq. Go ahead.
There were large areas and big cities in which the Jewish population constituted a majority.
As always, we outnumber everybody. Go ahead.
This Jewry, which is state and religious institutions, was the pride of the Jewish people, and difficult inquiries from all the lands of the diaspora were directed to it.
Any problems we had, we would all run to Babylon, where the elders were. Go ahead. So that became our New Jerusalem. Okay, go ahead.
This was the case during the periods of the sovereign, the Babylonian Jewish scholars in the period 500 to 700
AD. Go ahead.
AD. And the
Jonim.
scholars in Babylonia from the 6th to the 11th centuries until the end of the 11th century.
All right, until the Arabs came along and overthrew us from there. So my point is we had a heavy presence in Babylon. Keep that in mind. Go to what I want. I was 94. Get page 96. We're going to go to Khazars. Oh, Khazars is here. 96, the Khazars. Oh, why is that there?
Oh,
Well, Babylonian Jewry, Khazar.
interesting.
Why is that there?
Interesting.
What's the significance in that?
Page 95. The Khazars. Yeah.
Khazar.
The Khazar. Who's the Khazars? Who that? In this $500 book.
Who that is?
The Khazars. There we go. We're going to start from, let's see, give me a second. Khazars. Yeah, we'll just read it. I don't know when to stop. Just read the other side of the page.
Yes, sir.
Read that.
The Khazars, in this period of glory for the autonomous Jewish community in Babylonia, the religion of the Jews and their way of life attracted many persons.
Many people. Go ahead.
Numerous tribes in the Arabian Peninsula
Yup, the Arabian Peninsula, that's where the Muslims got Islam from. The Jews, Muhammad saw the Jews and their way of life, their way of living, and he adopted his religion based upon his observance of the Jews and their interactions with our laws. That's what inspired him to come with Islam. Many Muslims will deny this. Smart ones understand this. Okay, read on.
Numerous tribes in the Arabian Peninsula and in the various lands of the Near and Middle East adopted Judaism.
Come on.
The most famous of these were the Khazars.
Oh, the most famous of these people that adopted Judaism were Khazars. I remember earlier, I showed you the history of how the Israelites under John Arcanus compelled or forced the Idumeans, who became Romans and Greeks, but also became converts or nominal Jews and were set to reign over us as our kings during the time of the Messiah and the disciples. It says here that these guys also were converted, called Khazars. Now, whenever this word is thrown out there, the immediate defense comes up and go, oh, it's anti-Semites.
Right.
I'm just reading about Khazars. That's all I'm doing. I'm just reading about Khazars.
It's in a $500 book.
Yeah, it's in a $500 book that y'all put together. Let's see who wrote it. Maybe it says my name. Let's see.
Some black man wrote it?
Dr. Bezalel Narkis. Don't sound black to me. Dr. Samuel Abramsky. David Flusser. Professor Abraham Shullett. Dr. Michael Ziv. Masada Limited. Jerusalem. Tel Aviv.
Oh, these are their records.
These are their records.
Wow.
Oh, Israelis. We didn't write this. Continue.
The land of the Khazars in southern Russia extended from the Caspian Sea to the Black Sea, as far as Crimea.
Now, and Khazaria is modern-day Ukraine. That's where it is. Modern-day, the place they're fighting over right now, that was ancient Khazaria. That's the same place. Go ahead.
The Khazars were a semi-nomadic pagan tribe whose chief was the Kagan.
That's his term. His title was Kagan. Go ahead.
At the beginning of the 8th century, the Khazars became very strong by virtue of their dominion of the trade route between the Byzantine Empire and the Far East.
So they were situated between the Holy Roman Empire, which were following Christianity, the Catholicism, and between the Muslims, the Caliphs. The Khazars are in the middle. They were very strong, so neither side can defeat the Khazars. And in order for one to get to the other, they had to cross through to the Khazars. So the Byzantine Empire was trying to win over the Khazars to their side, while the Muslims are trying to win them over to their side to defeat each other. But the Khazars were neutral, so we ain't following neither one of y'all. We're pagan, we're good. We ain't Muslim or Christian, we just us. At this time, during the 8th century. Okay? Go ahead.
For this reason, both the Byzantine empires and the Baghdad caliphs,
Muslims, go ahead,
were interested in cultivating the Khazars and in bringing them under their influence by winning them over to their religion.
Christianity or Islam. Go ahead.
Paganism was on its last legs.
Regarding the Khazars. Go ahead.
Kagan Bulan of the Khazars.
Kagan Bulan was a king of the Khazars. Go ahead.
Who reigned over his people in the middle of the 8th century, decided to abandon his pagan faith, but could not make up his mind what new faith to adopt.
He said, I want to follow something. What can I follow? Because this pagan stuff is stupid. Go ahead.
There are stories of the efforts of the Muslim caliph and the Christian emperor of Byzantium to win over the Kagan to their belief. They sent delegations to him with letters and expensive gifts.
Trying to bribe him. Go ahead.
Accompanied by men learned in their religion.
And they sent their scholars to teach him what their faiths are about to win them over. Go ahead.
To influence Balaam.
Come on.
The confused Kagan ordered a Christian and a Muslim to conduct a debate to establish whose faith was better.
Okay, I'm going to hear you both out. Let's see who wins. Go ahead.
The debates lasted for a long time without concrete results.
Because it's pretty much the same damn thing. One's just Arabic. It's the same thing. Go ahead. 96. Page 96.
Top.
What, the top deep? Mm-hmm. At the top.
The Kagan noticed.
Yes, sir. The Kagan noticed that both the Christian and the Muslim debaters referred to the Jewish Torah to support their arguments.
So both the Muslim and the Christian referred back to that Bible to push both their agendas. Watch this. And Kagan, this king was smart. Go ahead.
The Christian priest admitted that the Jewish religion was superior to that of Muhammad.
That's true. It was. It came first. Go ahead.
And the Muslim imam asserted that Judaism was better than Christianity.
Going back to the Bible, which precedes both. Go ahead.
This being the case, the Kagan decided to adopt the faith of the Jews.
Judaism. He became a Jew. Go ahead.
He summoned a Jewish scholar to teach him the Torah.
Come on.
Bullen then had himself and his officers and soldiers circumcised.
Go ahead.
There are reliable documents.
There what?
There are reliable documents.
There are reliable documents. Go ahead.
Which prove that the Khazar rulers retained their Jewish faith for about 150 years, although the people had the right to observe whatever religion they preferred.
Yes, they were liberal. The Kagans were liberal, but his kingdom took Judaism. Go ahead.
The favored position of Judaism in the land of the Khazars remained until the Khazars themselves fell on evil days when they were defeated by the Russian
Sviatslav. Sviatslav is Russians. Go ahead. That's Russians. Go ahead.
This disaster marked the beginning of the Khazars' political decline.
Jump down, Masorets. Read the first sentence.
The Masorets. In Babylonia.
Remember, the Jews had a strong presence in Babylon. Watch this. You had a group called the Masorets. Go ahead.
In Babylonia, meanwhile, a traditional Jewish culture based on the Talmud developed.
So in Babylon, among our people, a traditional Jewish culture based on the Talmud developed. Go ahead.
But Judaism also provided other channels of creative activity in the form of literature, both sacred and profane.
Jump down to the Cuttites. Jump down. First sentence. So Talmudism became popular in Babylon among our people, because that's where it came from, Babylon. Read that here. That's all the little cap come from.
Right.
And
The
curls.
whiskers.
We were doing that.
Damn.
That's where they got it from. Because we went over there and taught them.
Dang.
The Babylonian Jew went over there and taught him the Bible. And they brought the curls and the caps along with us to them. And they adopted it. And they still do it today. That's a Babylonian custom. Curls and caps.
Curls
It's Babylonians.
and caps.
Read that.
And caps.
The Karaites.
Because you will not find that in Torah. You'll not find anywhere
Right.
in the Bible curls being worn and yarmulkes. It's not biblical. It's
Right.
Talmudic. And the Talmud's of a Babylonian origin. Read that.
The political and religious organization of Babylonian Jewry
Was what?
was based on the Talmud.
The Babylonian Jewry was based upon the Talmud. Judaism merged with Babylonian worship.
Damn.
That's what it is.
And they call it what today, D? Don't we call it Zionist?
That's the government, but it's Talmudism. Talmudism.
Oh, okay.
Read on.
Whatever threatened the supremacy of the Talmud also constituted a menace to the public institutions and the precepts of the Jewish religion.
So anything that attacked the Talmud was immediately seen as a danger, because these Karaites and masters are saying, yo, this Talmud is garbage. We got to go back to this Bible. And they were saying, no, the Talmud. So among ourselves, there was religious infighting. So but at the end of the day, the Talmud prevailed to a degree, because what ended up happening was once the Arabs came in and overthrew the Babylonian Jews, we fled to a place where there was neutrality present. Where was that? Among the Khazars. And we stayed amongst them, and we taught them Babylonian Jewry.
Damn.
That's who went over there and taught them. Babylonian Jews taught the Khazars Judaism or Babylonian Judaism. That's what they taught them. Now, that's what I want. Now, let me see. What else I want? Give me page 60 real quick. The Babylonians overthrew us first, along with the help of the Edomites, and then the Edomites, as the Romans, overthrew us as well and burned the temple. The Romans did it, second, and then the Babylonian Edomites as Romans. Edomites did it secondly as Romans, and they did it the first time as Edomites. See the screen right there, the top? Read the bottom right there, what it says?
The vessels of the Jerusalem temple.
This is 70 AD.
In Titus's triumphal procession after his victory over the Jews and the burning of the temple in 70 AD.
The second temple burning. The Roman Edomites burned it the second time, and as Edomites, before becoming Romans, they burned it the first time with the Babylonians. They hated the temple. They hated it. They hated our place of worship. They wanted our land. Read on.
All the vessels and magnificent furnishings of the temple were taken to Rome as war booty.
Spoils of war. Spoils, go ahead.
The relief on the Ark of Titus.
The Ark of the Emperor of Rome, Titus, he has this depiction on the Ark of Triumph. You see a big menorah with 7 branches, not 9 or 8.
Right.
7 branches and a scroll of our records. That's our names, our genealogies, our fathers, all of them big scrolls there. They have all of that. In your Vatican, they have it. In your Smithsonian, they have it. In big, deep underground vaults, our records are there. They know who we are. That's why Ye is causing a problem. Kyrie is causing a problem. Nick Cannon caused a problem. Deshaun Jackson caused a problem. Ice Cube caused a problem. The list goes on. Kendrick Lamar caused a problem. Nick Cannon caused a problem. Farrakhan caused a problem.
Right.
You mentioned us being Jews, you are a problem. You know, is there more?
Yes, sir. The relief on the Ark of Titus in Rome depicting this procession shows the 7-branched candelabrum.
No,
Candelabrum.
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 Yeah, that's the 7-branched menorah. 7-branched. 7-branched. This is carried out the temple. They didn't have 8, they had 9, they had 7.
Right.
It's giant, it's huge. You see 2 men holding it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Candelabrum and its shovels, as well as the golden altar with its accessories.
Where all these things found? Smithsonian, Vatican, in vaults that are nigger-proof. You ain't going there. There were no niggas in no damn vault down there. No, nigga. You stay in a corner and sell your drugs and rap your trap music and dribble the
Your
ball,
drill
nigga.
music.
And have your drink champs. Not think champs, nigga. Drink. Just drink and be quiet. Don't think. Drink, nigga. Don't think. Be quiet.
Damn.
And be a champion. That's all you do. Yes, master.
Shut
Thank
up
you
and
for my
dribble.
show. I appreciate you. Thank you, master. Thank you, sir. I appreciate my show. Thank you. Thank you so much. Super Thug. What?
Right.
It's
Supposed to
now
be a Super
thanking
Thug.
Massa for his show. Interesting.
Sad, man.
Super Thug. Became super scared. Interesting. Anyway, where we at? Shots fired. Give me page 1. Take a quick break. Matter of fact, you want to say anything? You want to say anything? I've been
Deke,
fighting
you
all
dropping
day.
bombs.
You dropping
Deke.
hammers right now.
I'm a student right now, Deke.
Deacon Ithon.
Deke,
Where's the gavel?
Slap the
There you go,
gavel.
yeah.
Deke, y'all out of order.
Amalek, guilty.
Guilty.
I'm literally taking notes right now. Like,
All right, all
notebook.
praises. So, I'm trying to think about you keep going and take a break. 2:16.
Wow. Some bombs are dropping.
What y'all suggest?
I say we keep going.
Keep going.
Shoot.
See how
Let's
deep
keep
the rabbit
going,
hole
Deke.
goes?
Keep going.
You bringing out $500 books, Deke.
All right.
Hey, and as a matter of fact, if we have Zoom is available, brothers and sisters, as this knowledge is coming out.
Yeah.
with
Zoom
Deacon
in.
Ithon, zoom in.
Zoom in.
Yeah, we're anti-Semites, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
Zoom
it's
in.
all
Deke is
show.
here on PSR on a on a PSR platform, but
on.
it's our hidden history.
That's right.
He bringing out dropping bombs on the nominals right now. So come on, zoom in, y'all.
Come on now.
We want to hear from y'all.
Come and argue your scholars' books. Right. Okay?
Yeah. Or you want the nominals to zoom in?
Yeah, and, whoever.
Hey, nominal, zoom in, man.
Come on, zoom in.
Yeah, you explain to us this anti-Semitic thing to us.
Yep.
We so stupid.
Brother said they just trying to zoom in on them books.
Oh yeah.
Hey, where's the tranny? Zoom in. Vocab, where you at?
Oh.
Where you at?
Mark Reiser.
Come on.
Guilty.
Course adjourned.
Guilty. Guilty of trannies. Guilty of trannies, Mark Reiser. Guilty.
All right, we're gonna go to page 100. Jewish Civilization, page 100. Jewish Civilization, page 100. We're gonna start at the Jews of Cordoba. Now, So those of you who say that us being Jews is a lie and it's not true, I need you to explain to me the history of the edicts that were passed by Pope Nicholas V, known as Dum Diversis and Romanes Pontifex. Because those edicts were passed to establish the colonial rule of the Spanish crown or Hispano-Romans, same people, Romans that ruled over Spain. They passed a law that gave them the right to enslave non-Christian dark inhabitants of Africa. And then later on you had Rodrigo Borgia, Pope Alexander VI of Rome, who passed a law called Et Inerta, something like that, which was a law that was passed to enslave the Native Americans in this side of the world. Forgot how it's Latin, forgot how it's pronounced, but that came after the Romanes Pontifex, okay? And those edicts were passed during the Spanish Inquisition, during the time when Jews and Moors, same people, were being expelled out of Spain and Portugal and enslaved and forced to work in areas of plantations such as Saint Tomé, New Guinea, Cape Verde, and many other places. Okay, Canary Islands as well. Columbus also involved himself in slave trading over there, of our brothers over there in the Canary Islands, prior to coming over here. You didn't know about that, though. So that right there, the transatlantic slave trade, was started off by the Spanish Inquisition. That started it off. And the Ottoman Turks, which were Muslims, that they spoke about earlier, the sons of Ishmael, were Ottoman Turks. They came with Islam as well, and they came conquering. They didn't come, they came converting or conquering. You would convert or die. The original Arabs that came with it, they were more peaceful, convert, whatever, and we follow. But these were by force. These Turks came along, and these same Spanish and Portuguese that expelled us sold us into their hands, or that Muslim Africans into their hands. And that's how the trade began. The forerunners of slavery started with the Arabs, the Portuguese, to the Arabs and Africans, but the starter, well, was able to be possible based upon the edicts passed during the Spanish Inquisition. The Spanish Inquisition is the forerunner of the trans-Saharan and transatlantic slave trade. Say I'm lying.
Right.
Say I'm lying.
And that was started by the Pope.
By the Pope, yeah, Pope Nicholas, yeah, exactly.
Right.
So you have Dum Diversis, research it for yourself. Dum Diversis is one edict, and Romanes Pontifex follow behind it. And then Pope Alexander VI of Rome, Caesar Borgia's poppy, he tried to pass one to bring those same edicts to this side of the world to enslave Native Americans, which they did.
Deacon.
They had inquisitions over here in Brazil and any other place, Mexico as well.
Didn't they call that Incarceration?
Yes, Incarceration. That's the one.
So Incarceration, I did a 15 minutes with that.
Okay.
15 minutes
That's
captive
the one.
video. So what they did was from, say, the Canary Islands, everything west of the Canary Islands, they were able to basically dominate the whole entire planet Earth by creating an edict from everything west of the Canary Islands, saying we can enslave the pagans, the Saracens, and so forth.
Blacks.
Everything west belongs to the Queen of Spain.
Yep.
You understand? That's what they did with Incarceration.
Right, and the church pretty much dominated the crown. The church was higher than the crown. So what the church said, the crown to go along with it. The church had higher power status than the king and queen. Yes. So what the Christian church said, went. So what's it called again?
Incarceration.
Incarceration. That was the father of the man who you call Jesus Christ today.
Right.
His son's depicted as Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia was his son.
Right.
And that was 1493.
Yes, a year after Columbus's expedition.
Where's the bombs at, brothers?
The bomb
brother went to the camera.
Oh, man. All right, so let's go to page 100.
The Jews of Cordoba,
headed
by Rabbi Hasdai ibn Shaprut.
Yeah, the Jews of Cordoba is headed by Rabbi Hasdai ibn Shaprut. Keep that name in mind. It's a very important person to remember. Hasdai ibn, son of Shaprut. Go ahead, of Cordoba. Go ahead.
Constituted the richest, most powerful Jewish community in Europe. And its prestige was enhanced still more than Rabbi Moshe settled in it. The reason which the Jews of Cordoba gave to Caliph
Abd Yor-Rahman.
Abd Yor-Rahman.
The Muslims. Go ahead. Hasdai was pretty much an ambassador of the Muslim Caliph. of the caliphs. He was like a spokesman. He would go to different travel. He was an ambassador, a Jew ambassador of the Muslims, pretty much. Go ahead.
For allowing Rabbi Moshe to remain with them is characteristic. They agreed that hence, excuse me.
Let me read it, man. Hey, I'll read it, man.
I got you, Cap.
Let me start. Oh, boy. Hey, I don't know what's going on with the guy over there.
Give him some tea.
All right, get him some tea,
He
y'all.
needs some milk.
Get that brother some water, y'all. Come on now.
The second paragraph, right?
Yeah, where you at?
The Jews of Cordoba, headed by Rabbi Hasdai ibn Shaprut, constituted the richest, most powerful Jewish community in Europe.
Right.
And its prestige was enhanced still more when Rabbi Moshe settled in it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Is there in it?
Yes.
Go to 3 of. End that toward the Jews.
Okay.
3 of.
3 of the communities in which the captives from Babylonia settled.
Right, hold on. So 3 of the communities from which the captives of Babylonia settled. Remember, Israel, a lot of us didn't return to, when the Persians came into rulership, we were allowed to return to our homeland. Those of us that chose to not return, they stayed in these places here. Read, watch that, read.
Egypt.
Some stayed in Egypt, that's in Jeremiah. They stayed in Egypt, go ahead.
North Africa.
Some stayed in North Africa, that's Mauritania or Carthage or modern day Tunisia or Tunis today. Go ahead.
And Spain.
And we in Spain. We were in Spain since Babylon. Damn. We were in Spain since the Babylonian captivity. We stayed there. Read on.
Had for centuries been under the rule of the Arabs.
So for centuries, the Arabs gave us a bit more liberty than the Romans. Remember the guy said, oh, why are you going to send the Arabs against us? The Lord said to him, listen, you're going to have more peace under them than you did under East or Rome. Relax. But over time, they turned against us too. Go ahead.
Who in religious matters were more moderate than the Christian church.
See, who in what?
Were more moderate than the Christian church.
See, so the Catholic Church was trying to force us to follow Christianity. The Muslims are a bit more, okay, well, you guys follow the Bible, we're Muslims, we follow some of those laws as well, so we're good. You don't gotta serve Allah or whatever, fine. You keep the dietary law and so forth, women dress a certain way, ours do too. All right, well, we're good. For now, until the Ottoman Turks came around, it was a wrap. There was no moderate at all. It was just severity. Go ahead.
Were more moderate than the Christian church in their attitude toward the Jews.
Right, go ahead.
During
this time, before the Ottoman Turks came about later on. Go ahead.
The 4th community in southern France was also located in a part of Europe in which the oppressive hand of the Pope was not felt.
See? So we ran from Christianity, we ran from the Pope. We ran from the Catholics. We ran from the Catholics. Go ahead.
In prosperity and growth, the French communities lagged somewhat behind those in Spain. But in time, they became an important center, which even superseded the Spanish one. The Ashkenazic communities of Germany, which had developed much more quickly than the older Italian congregations, furnished teachers to the Jewish populations of Christian Spain.
These were black Jews, by the way, in Germany, not the ones you know of today, not the Nominals today. Jump up to the next book, 901?
101.
Yeah, keep going.
Spanish Jewry.
Spanish Jewry. Spanish Jewry. Jews in Spain. Jews in Spain. Go ahead.
Jews had been living in the Iberian Peninsula.
Stop right there. The word Iberian alone means Eber, the Hebrew Peninsula. Right. That's where the word Iberian comes from. We named it that. Iberian Peninsula, Spain. Go ahead.
Since Roman times.
We have been there since, read again.
Jews had been living in the Iberian Peninsula since Roman times.
Even before Roman times we were there, since Babylonian times. Go ahead.
And in the period after the destruction of Jerusalem.
See, after Babylon, go ahead. And after Rome, go ahead.
Their number reached tens of thousands.
So after Rome, remember I showed you earlier that Ark of Triumph. When the Romans besieged Jerusalem, we fled everywhere. We ran to Spain, we ran to Babylon. So the numbers grew even more when Jerusalem was destroyed. Go ahead.
Proof of this is the fact that after the Arab conquest, Grenada was called the city of the Jews.
That's what was conquered last. The last Moorish stronghold was Grenada. It was called the city of the Jews. Go ahead.
The Jews had been citizens of the country even before the barbaric, Visigothic, and Germanic tribes had overrun it.
Before Edomites showed up, we were there first. That's what it's saying. Visigothic, Germanic is white folk showed up. Go ahead.
Most of the Jewish families were of aristocratic origin and traced their ancestry back to the house of David.
So Judah was in Spain. Judah was in Spain. Go ahead.
Proving their claims by means of genealogical documents
We had our own paperwork to show we were Jews, and that David was our ancestor. Go ahead.
and seals in their possession.
And we had seals, royal seals to show that we were actually of nobility, royal nobility in Spain. Real Israelites, not Israelis.
Right.
Israelites in Spain. That proves that Southern Kingdom was in Spain. That's why I pulled that
Bam.
there. Now, give me Wikipedia. No, give me Romans 15:24 to show that we were there, because Paul wrote to them in the Bible. Romans 15:24. Paul was writing to the Jews in Spain.
Romans chapter 15, verse 24. Whensoever I take my journey into Spain, I will come to you, for I trust to see you in my journey, and to be brought on my way thitherward by you, if first I be somewhat filled with your company. But now I go unto Jerusalem to minister unto the saints,
Go ahead.
for it hath pleased them of Macedonia
Macedonia.
and Achaia to make a certain contribution for the poor saints which are at Jerusalem. It hath pleased them verily.
Gonna go to 28. 24. Sorry, we 24. I'm sorry, 24. 24 and then 28. Hey. Shalom.
Hey,
Shalom.
Most High in Christ bless. Excellent show. Now, to all those mamzers out there,
Right.
and the word mamzer means bastards.
Bastards, yes, sir.
Don't get offended because I said bastards.
Right.
That's in Zechariah 9 and 6. Somebody read that for me, Zechariah 9 and 6.
Bring it out.
Bring it out. All right, Zechariah chapter 9, verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. And I will
We
come-
went to, we visited Ashdod is over there in Israel.
Yep.
Okay? The Bible lived there. Don't think it's anti-Semitism. Contre mon frère.
Right.
No, not at all. This is Bible talk. You'd have to burn all the Bibles on the planet in order for us to stop. And we still ain't gonna stop teaching if you did that either.
That's right.
But I sent something to Captain Amaziah. I want y'all to put it on the screen, and I want somebody to read it. Please.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
I'll send it to you.
Let's get that.
You got it right, Elisha? All right, 1 second.
And this is from a book from the white man.
That's right.
Here we go.
What up?
Blow it up. I'll read it. All right, it's on the screen?
Yeah, right there.
All right. And it says, genetic connection with the biblical Jews of Palestine at all. And this was known among themselves and among the more astute Jewish and non-Jewish historians and linguists.
How come I don't see it? Where's the page at? How come I don't see it?
Is it on the screen?
He can't see from that
because
side.
you're on Zoom, Bishop. You're on Zoom.
Oh, I'm on Zoom. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Shazam.
Shazam! I'm going to read that again. And this was known among themselves and among the more astute Jewish and non-Jewish historians and linguists from at least 1700 AD. It was a well-known, if disguised and ignored, fact of Jewish life from 1850 onward. Most of what we, Gentiles, in North America consider to be Jewish, and most of what even the Ashkenazi immigrants into North America consider to be Jewish, is not Jewish at all. Oh, I thought you were going to say something on that. All right.
Yeah, the Hasidic.
The Hasidic sidelocks, the skull cap, yarmulke, the rabbi's fur trim hats and caftans. Guess whatever. None of that is Jewish. Not in the sense that it originated from the people of Abraham in ancient Palestine. It is all Khazar.
Damn.
It
Y'all
reflects
see that?
it reflects
That's
traditions.
some heavy stuff right there. Was there more?
Yes, sir.
There's more, Bishop.
It is all Khazar. It reflects traditions of steppe tribesmen who never had anything to do with biblical Hebrews or Judaism. Wow.
Drop a
that right
nuclear
there?
bomb on that.
See that?
I
We
like
ain't
that
got
thing
no
right
choice.
there.
They're going to have to lay hands on us.
Lock us up.
Y'all know in New York City in Jacob Javits Center this week, they're having a major meeting with so-called Jewish elite and black leaders, you know, the phony black leaders, about anti-Semitism and what must be done to stop it.
Damn.
I'm telling you, they write legislation. They already made laws. They're going to make it. They're going to outlaw proper biblical teachings. Why? That's when they're going to arrest us. They're going to imprison us. They're going to torture and kill a lot of us. I'm telling you that because that's what the Bible says. That's what the Bible says.
Right.
In Revelation 2, 9 down and 10, it says that thing. Hey, let's read that. Hey, real quick, Revelation 2, 9 and 10, please.
Yes, sir.
Nathaniel, you got it?
I'm sorry, Deacon Athon, but your class stirred me up.
Yes, sir. All praise.
Okay, Bishop, I ain't said nothing. I ain't got nothing to say.
Go ahead, bro.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Now watch this. We never make the connection, but watch the next verse. Go ahead.
Fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
Wait a minute.
Stop
Wait
right
a
there.
minute.
The devil is the same synagogue of Satan.
That's
The
right.
devil is the same synagogue of Satan who made laws and legislation to arrest the real black Jews. Go ahead.
That ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
You hear what the Bible says? So that prison for 10 days, the tribulation goes into affliction and torture. I'm telling y'all what's going to happen. Though the spirit of the seven churches is back in the earth today.
That's right.
That's why it's written there. Don't think it was just for back then. Although those things happened back then, they're going to happen again today.
That's right.
Just
Yes,
watch.
sir. Yes,
Hold
sir.
on, brothers and sisters.
That's
Y'all
right.
just hold on.
That's
I'll let
right.
you go, y'all. Y'all
All praises, Bishop.
Give Bishop a round of applause, man. All praises.
The gig is up.
So we didn't write these books, man. We didn't write these books. We didn't write the book on that book right there. We didn't write that book either. 1524, Romans.
Romans chapter 15,
24.
verse 24.
Whensoever
I take my journey into Spain.
Where?
Into Spain.
Go ahead.
I will come to you, for I trust to see you in my journey, and to be brought on my way thitherward by you, if first I be somewhat filled with your company.
28.
Verse 28. When therefore I have performed this, and have sealed to them this fruit, I will come by you into Spain.
Who's the you? The Jews in Spain. He's talking to the Jews in Spain, okay? That's what he's alluding to. So now, get me, where's that? Page 101. And we're going to end that, where we stop at?
We stopped.
Toward the Jews.
Where is towards the Jews?
Three of, end that toward the Jews.
Damn, where is it? I can't. Visigoth, the Germanic Jews. Then what? The next paragraph?
You go to page 101. Go to end that possession. We stop at.
Where you see that?
Let me see it. Let me see. Can't see that far. Okay, we ended it. Right? That's all right. We stopped there. All right. I jumped ahead. Go to Wikipedia. Go to Khazar's. Bishops in the Spirit. So go to Khazar's.
Right.
He came on and put out Khazar's first.
That's right.
So it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Wikipedia, Khazar's, please. Here's where the fun starts. It gets deeper and deeper. Wikipedia, Khazar's, please. No, just, yeah. Yep, right there. Click that. Read that first, real quick. Blow it up. I don't need none of that stuff. That map stuff is irrelevant to me. Right there for now. That's good.
All right.
Right there. Go down.
You got it? You want to do it?
Yes, sir.
Turkic people. Okay, what's happening? Right there. Go ahead.
The Khazars were a semi-nomadic Turkic people
We just read this in Jewish civilization, the exact same thing. Semi-nomadic. Go ahead.
that in late 6th century CE established a major commercial empire covering the southeastern section of modern European Russia, southern Ukraine, Crimea, and Kazakhstan.
Uh-huh.
They created what for its duration was the most powerful polity to emerge from the breakup of the Western Turkic Khaganate.
Khaganate goes back to Kagan Bullen. Khaganate. Turkic Khaganate.
Damn.
Now, that's all I want. Let's jump on down to, it's called Ashkenazi Khazar theories. Now it's a theory now.
Right.
Even though it's in your books.
Right.
Okay, I'll play this game. Right there. Yep, read that. Read all that. Read that. We're going to end that polemical issues.
Yes, sir.
Let's try to skim through it. Come on.
Several scholars have suggested that the Khazars did not disappear after the dissolution of the empire, but migrated west to eventually form part of the core of the latter Ashkenazi Jewish population of Europe.
Oh, that's what happened. So when they were conquered by the Russians and the Mongols came in there and were pushed out, they weren't overthrown and destroyed entirely and erased from existence. They just migrated over into areas of Poland and so forth, and Germany and Russia. That's where they went, and then they formed the core of Ashkenazi Jews. Go ahead.
This hypothesis is greeted.
Hold on. You gotta be between the lines.
Yeah,
this hypothesis now.
So they saying it's fake.
Right. This is this rumor. Watch this.
This hypothesis is greeted with skepticism or caution by most scholars.
So it's greeted with skepticism in one, but with caution by others, because there's some truth to it. That's why there's caution involved. Go ahead.
The German Orientalist Karl Neumann, in the context of an earlier controversy about possible connections between Khazar and the ancestors of Slavic peoples, suggested as early as 1847.
So during this time, this conversation was being had, we were in chains.
Right.
This is 1847. Go ahead.
As early as 1847, immigrant Khazars might have influenced the core population of Eastern European Jews.
So a man named, a German Orientalist named Karl Neumann said there's a chance that the core of these European Jews is from Khazars.
Right.
In 1847. It's not, was he anti-Semitic?
Right.
We was in chains at this time. This has been a conversation since the 1800s. We were slaves until 1880 in Brazil, and slaves here until 1865. We weren't discussing this. So was he anti-Semitic? Click his name, please. Karl Neumann. What was he? Oh, he was a German. All right. They'll say he was, that he's German. Okay, let's go down. Let's see. He's a Nazi.
Right.
He hates us. Okay, let's go down. Let's see. Right there. The theory.
The theory was then taken up by Albert Harkavy.
Stop right there. Retain that name. It's very important you retain this name. Albert Harkavy. In what year?
1869.
We were out of slavery, what, 3 years?
3 years.
Yes, sir.
So we're still damn near slaves. You had sharecropping going on. We were still slaves. On paper, we're free, but in reality, we're still slaves. 1869, blacks were not discussing being Jews yet, or saying anything anti-Semitic during this time. Go ahead, watch this.
The theory was then taken up by Albert Harkavy in 1869, when he also claimed a possible link between the Khazars and Ashkenazi.
Where did he get it from? We're going to find out soon enough. Go ahead.
But the theory that Khazar converts conformed a major portion of the Ashkenazi was first proposed to a Western public in a lecture by Ernest Renan in 1883.
1800s, once again. Go ahead.
Occasional suggestions emerged.
These are white people having conversations about them. Black folks are nowhere in sight in these conversations. Nowhere.
Right.
Go ahead.
Occasional suggestions emerged that there was a small Khazar component in Eastern Europe, in East European Jews in works by Joseph Jacobs.
Click Albert Harkavy, please, see where he's from and see what he is. Real quick. Go up to his name. Russian historian. Oh, okay. He might be a Nazi. Okay, let's go down. Go down to Russian. Go down to, wait. Go to Joseph Jacobs. Let's see what he was. Australian
folklorist.
Okay.
Folklorist.
Folklorist. Go ahead.
Anatoly Leroy Bolu, a critic of anti-Semitism.
Uh-oh, there go that word. A critic of anti-Semitism. Go ahead. What year?
1893.
We wasn't involved in that conversation. Go ahead.
Right.
Maximilian Ernest Gumplowitz.
What's he? Go there. Let's see what he is.
I don't think you can't. It's not blue.
All right. That's fine. Go ahead. Go on. Keep going. And by the
Russian Jewish anthropologist.
There we go.
Right.
Go ahead.
Samuel Weissenberg.
So these guys were. Go ahead. Keep going. Just gonna say it.
In 1909, Hugo von Kutzera developed the notion that into a book-length study.
All these guys are saying the same thing, linked to Khazars. He's a Russian Jew, Samuel Weissenberg.
Right.
Go ahead.
Arguing Khazars formed the foundational core of modern Ashkenazi.
All these people are arguing the same thing, and they're Jews, or they're anti-Semites too?
Right.
Keep going.
Maurice Fishberg introduced the notion to American audiences in 1911.
Fishberg, he's a
Fishberg.
Jew. He introduced it the same thing in 1911.
He's a nominal.
A nominal. Go ahead.
The idea was also taken up by Polish Jewish
Another one. Go ahead.
economic historian, General Zionist Yitzhak Schipper in 1918.
7 years later, he says it also. Go ahead.
Israel Bartal
Another one.
has suggested that from the Haskalah onwards, polemical pamphlets against the Khazars were inspired by Sephardi organizations opposed to the Khazaro Ashkenazi.
So this guy was saying that the Sephardis are causing problems. They started this whole thing, but that's not true because it's years apart.
Right.
Keep going. Scholarly anthropologists. People who study people and cultures. That's what anthropology is. Go ahead.
Scholarly anthropologists such as Roland B. Dixon and writers like H.G. Wells.
I own his books. H.G. Wells did the same thing. Go ahead.
Used it to argue that the main part of Jewry never was in Judea.
The main part of Jewry today was never in Judea. Go ahead. A what?
Let me read.
A thesis.
A thesis that was to have a political echo in later opinion.
So H.G. Wells, which I have his book, that when he said it, it echoed. It was like, H.G. Wells is saying this? Uh-oh, it had influence. Go ahead.
In 1932, Samuel Krauss ventured the theory that the biblical Ashkenaz referred to northern Asia Minor and identified it with the Khazars.
Go ahead.
A position immediately disputed by Jacob Mann.
Why they dispute it? Because they're saying, listen, you guys gotta be quiet. Stop saying this stuff. You're saying these things, it's called whistleblowers. Because some understand the importance of this not being known, and some don't. So they're saying, you guys gotta stop saying these things. Go ahead.
10 years later, in 1942, Abraham N. Polak, sometimes referred to as Poliak, later professor for the history of the Middle Ages at Tel Aviv University,
Oh, he's a professor at Tel Aviv University. Go ahead.
published a Hebrew monograph in which he concluded that the East European Jews came from Khazaria.
Drop the bomb.
Anti-Semites. These are Jews writing these things. These are nominals writing these things. Go ahead.
D.M. Dunlop, writing in 1954, thought very little evidence backed what he regarded as a mere assumption and argued that the Ashkenazi Khazar descent theory went far beyond.
Move it down. Far
Come
beyond.
on, y'all.
Come on. Far beyond what?
Far beyond what our imperfect records permit. Leon Poliakov, while assuming the Jews of Western Europe resulted from that word is in the way. The thing is, bring it down a little bit.
A panmixia.
Damn, I lost my place now.
Resulted from a panmixia in the first millennium. Leon Poliak. Poliak.
Leon Poliak, while assuming the Jews of Western Europe resulted from a panmixia in the first millennium, asserted in 1955 that it was widely assumed that Europe's Eastern Jews descended from a mixture of Khazarian and German Jews.
Saying the same thing. Doesn't make a difference. Go ahead.
Poliak's work found some support.
Poliak's work found some supporting evidence. Go ahead.
In Salo Whitmire Baron and Ben Zion Dinner, but was dismissed by Bernard Weinrib as a fiction.
Come on.
Bernard Lewis was of the opinion that the word in Cairo Geniza, interpreted as Khazaria, is actually Hakkari, and therefore it relates to the Kurds of the Hakkari Mountains in southeast Turkey.
Watch this.
Go up a little bit.
Watch this.
The Khazar Ashkenazi hypothesis came to the attention of a much wider
public. Go ahead.
Public with the publication of Arthur Koestler's The 13th tribe in 1976.
That's when people started asking more questions. Go ahead.
Which was both positively reviewed and dismissed as a fantasy.
Of course it was. Go ahead.
And a somewhat dangerous one.
Yeah, so him and his wife mysteriously decided to kill themselves.
Right.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
Israeli historian Ziv Ankari argued that Kostler had allowed his literary imagination to espouse Poliak's thesis, which most historians dismissed as speculative.
Keep going.
Israel's ambassador to Britain branded it an anti-Semitic action financed by the Palestinians.
Now the Arabs made him do it. Okay, go ahead.
While Bernard Lewis claimed that the idea was not supported by any evidence whatsoever.
You're trying to downplay it now. Go ahead.
And had been abandoned by all serious scholars.
No, it wasn't. Keep going.
Raphael Paté, however, registered some support for the idea that Khazar remnants had played a role in the growth of Eastern European Jewish communities.
Here we go again. Go ahead.
And several amateur researchers, such as Boris Altshuler, kept the thesis in the public eye. The theory has been occasionally manipulated to deny Jewish nationhood. Recently, a variety of approaches from linguistics, Paul Wexler, to historiography, Shlomo Sand, and popular genetics.
Watch this. Popular geneticist. Go ahead.
Iran Elhaik.
Iran Elhaik is a genetic scientist. Genetics scientist. Watch this.
A geneticist from University of Sheffield.
Watch this.
Have emerged to keep the theory alive.
How?
In a broad academic perspective, both the idea that the Khazars converted in mass to Judaism and the suggestion they emigrated to form the core population of Ashkenazi Jewry remain highly polemical issues.
Meaning, what Aaron Elhaik did research, found the remains in Khazarians, and said it's true.
Right.
I found the remains of Khazarians in Ashkenazis is identical. That was recent.
So it's mean like their bone structure.
Their bones, it's them. He's saying it's them.
Wow.
You are who you are. You're going to be who you be.
Yeah. Nominal.
No change.
Nominals. It's okay. It's all right. Order in the court. Order in the court.
Nominal.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Give me Psalm 64. Psalm 64 and verse 5. This is what happened. Here's what happened and why this is going on. Now, this debate's taking place while we in chains, while we sharecropping in plantations, arguing amongst themselves.
Psalms chapter 64, verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them?
Yeah, that's the guys that Ye shine the light on. Run the record deals, run the media, run the movies, run the teams, the sports, the radio stations, run everything. They say, who seeth us? Everyone's paid to pretend they don't see us with these contracts and these deals, record deals and endorsements. They're paid to not see us at all. But he became disrespectful.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Went against the grain.
He went against the grain, right? Go ahead.
They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
They search out iniquity goes into them searching out ways to have us celebrate things like Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, or they'll go on the Breakfast Club and say they'll search out new talent to create new rap lyrics that are destructive to the black community.
Right.
That's searching out iniquity. Oh, well, I got mouths to feed.
Right,
Mr. Cohen, Mr. Priest?
Right.
You know what a Cohen is, a priest?
I got a family.
I got a family, I don't look at it as, it's talent. Look for talent.
Talent over issues, guys.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
Because they look at things years ahead.
Right.
They look at they see if they have contingency plans, A, B, O, to Z.
Right.
Their plans can last hundreds of years. If they have fail-safes, all kind of stuff. Go ahead.
And they follow through.
And they follow through it. And if they don't, they die. Their kids fall behind it. Their thoughts are deep. Go ahead.
But God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded.
Go ahead. It's happening right. The wound is now. The wound is the awakening of our people. The awakening of our people, them being put in the forefront, the light being shined on them, that's the wound. Go ahead.
So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves.
They'll do what?
They shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves.
How is that? Ye said they control everything. He said, based upon what happens to me, you're going to see it.
Right.
Did they do it?
Yes.
Their own tongues fall on themselves. We don't rule the whole world. We don't run anything.
Right, right,
But he
right.
lost his deals. He lost his endorsements.
He
lost his school. He lost his name is smeared.
His kids.
being threatened to be taken from him.
He's crazy.
He's
They
crazy.
try to make him lose his mind.
Make him lose, exactly. Yeah.
And his billionaire status
And
within
his
like
bu-
4
yeah,
days.
Yeah. Their tongues fall on themselves. They're saying he's wrong, but then he's on TV saying, look, all these red lines here are Jewish-owned companies.
Right.
Then the guy said, then the media got quiet and said, well, did they work together? That's not what he said. He said they run everything.
Right.
He said they all got together to conspire against him.
Right.
His point was they run everything. So when he put that out on TV, they was like, but are they all working together against you? They tried to change the narrative.
And now that they're showing that trickling effect between each whether it be the fashion, whether it be the music, they're all doing a domino effect right after each other.
Yep.
So it's showing that
they work together.
They all work together.
They work
Yeah.
together, right?
No denying it. Go ahead.
All that,
You better say it again.
verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon
They're
themselves.
reading their tongue fall upon themselves with their own books, their own records saying exactly what we're saying. Then in their media, when Ye said that they have power, they exhibit it before the public.
Right.
Their own tongue falls to themselves. That's the wound. Light being shined. Remember I said earlier, who seeth us?
Right.
Now we all see you.
Right.
Well, some of y'all, but we still see you. Go ahead.
All that see them shall flee away.
All that shit them shall go, oh, wow, that's what the Israelites are talking about. We gotta stay out of that stuff. We gotta be mindful of these guys. Now the light shining on now. Ye shined it, Kyrie shined it. Now it's clear. Now it's obvious. Most definitely talked about it before.
Right. The rape over.
The rape over. Now it's becoming very, very clear. Jay-Z said it.
He said some
And
talk.
still in that song, OJ,
OJ.
Song of OJ, he said it also.
Still nigga.
Still nigga. He said it also.
Hey, Most Def said some tall Israeli is running this rap-ish.
Yep. Damn. Give me the Jewish encyclopedia. It's gonna get worse.
Uh-oh.
It's gonna get worse.
Uh-oh.
I'm down to the hour, last hour.
Crunch time. It's
I
crunch
want
time.
Volume 4 of the Jewish Encyclopedia. So you have to remember the name Archaeology. Remember Archaeology?
Arcavi. Yep.
Don't forget that name. Was it Albert Archaeology, I think it is?
Yeah.
Albert Archaeology. Keep that name in mind. This is
You got it,
Volume
bro?
4. Jewish Encyclopedia, Volume 4, 1909, I believe this book is. 1909, something like that. And it says here that the book, Bishop brought it out on Child Tuesday. It says here, hold on, if I can find the part I want to find the most. It says Jewish Encyclopedia. It says the history, religion, literature, and customs of the Jewish people from the earliest times, prepared by more than 400 scholars and specialists.
Nice.
Volume 4, Khazar's,
So this is legit.
Dreyfus case, Publishing House, Memorial Library, School of the Ozarks, whatever that is.
So that means all 400 had to agree on what was in here.
Yeah. For
okay.
to be in here.
And these are
Multi-volume-
scholars.
This multi-volume set here that I purchased. You know, because you don't sit up here and spend money on Yeezys.
Right.
You spend money on books here.
That's right.
So, Khazar's, page 1. I'm gonna jump through it. I'll read the whole thing due to lack of time. Page 1, first paragraph, first sentence. No, yeah, page, whatever it is, page 4, whatever it is. Page 1, no, it's page 1. I said 1 through 4. Jewish Encyclopedia, Volume 4.
Is that volume 4?
I said 1 through 4, pages 1 through 4.
That's volume 5.
It's volume 5.
Yeah, I'm on volume 4, pages 1 through 4. Yeah, volume 5 is only 1 page, yes. There we go. All pages, good.
The,
Right
Jew-
there.
the Jewish Encyclopedia. Khazars, a people of Turkish origin whose life and history are interwoven with the very beginnings of the history of the Jews of Russia.
Whoa, wow.
Tightly woven.
Who's tightly interwoven with the very Jews of Russia. Keep going.
The kingdom of the Khazars was firmly established in most of South Russia long before the foundation of the Russian monarchy by the Bulgarians.
Go ahead.
Jews have lived on the shores of the Black and Caspian Seas since the first centuries of the Common Era.
Since 100 AD, we were living in these areas. Jews are living in these areas. Go ahead. The original ones. Go ahead.
Historical evidence points to the
Region.
region of the Ural as the home of the Khazars. Among the classical writers of the Middle Ages, they were known as the Khazars,
Khazirs,
Akhazirs, and the Aktirs. And in Russian chronicles as
Qualises.
Qualises. I said that right?
Qualises.
Qualises.
Go ahead.
And Uruguay.
Yeah, right. Bailey, whatever. Right. Go to page 2.
When you read for Deacon, you got to step your definition game. Up,
Yes, sir.
Embrace Judaism. It was probably. It was probably right there.
It was probably about the time that the Kagan of the Khazars and his grandees, together with a large number of his heathen people, embraced the Jewish religion.
We read that earlier. In Jewish civilization, this is called cross-referencing. Right. That's what I'm doing.
So this is
different books.
So this is 400 scholars
Yeah.
agreeing on this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
According to A. Hakarvi,
Remember that guy? A. Harkavy. Albert Harkavy, right? Go ahead.
the conversation
The
took
conversion.
Conversion. Come on.
My bad. The conversion took place in 620.
AD. Go ahead.
According to others, in 740.
Whatever. Still took place. Go ahead.
King Joseph, in his letter to Hasdai, Emperor of Shipra,
Remember that guy?
Yes.
Of Cordoba, the
Yep.
Jews of Spain? Cross-referencing. That's what I'm doing. I'm laying it out for you. This is a guy that worked for the Sultan. Ibn Ruhaman, whatever. He was an ambassador of the Sultan. They were trying to convert the Khazars to their faiths.
Right.
So they sent Hasdai and Ibn Shipra to speak to them, to establish some trade relations. Ibn Hasdai, go ahead.
about 960, gives the following account of the conversation.
Conversion.
Conversion. Hey,
Lord.
We just love that word conversation.
What's happening?
where we at?
I don't read along. That's why.
Oh,
Go ahead.
read.
I got you.
Go ahead.
Some centuries ago, King Bulan reigned over the Khazars.
Remember King Bullen? Cajun Bullen? Kagan Bullen? King Bullen, go ahead.
To him, God appeared in a dream and promised him might and glory.
Do they have that today? Yes, they do. Might and glory. Go ahead.
Encouraged by this dream, Bullen went by the road of Darlin to the country of Ardabi, where he gained great victories over the Arabs. The Byzantine Empire and the Caliph of
Emperor.
Oh, the Byzantine Empire's emperor and the Caliph of Ishmaelites sent him to envoys with presents and sages to convert him to their respective religions.
Did that earlier. Go ahead.
Bullen invited those wise men of Israel and proceeded to examine them all. As each of the champions believed his religion to be the best, Bullen separately questioned the Mohammedans and the Christians as to which of their two religions they considered to be better. When both gave preference to that of the Jews, the king perceived that it must be the true religion. He therefore adopted it. See Harkavy.
Go down. This account. Harkavy wrote this. He documented this. Go down to this account.
This account of the conversion was considered to be of a legendary nature.
So it was considered to be legendary, mythical that took place. Watch this.
Harkavy, however, proved from Arabic, Slavonian sources that the religious disputation of the Khazarian court is a historical fact.
So they found among the Arabs' records that this took place.
Wow.
Go ahead.
So there's no refuting it.
Right.
And Slavonian, their own people had it written. Go ahead.
Even the name Singari has been found in liturgy of Constantine the philosopher. It was one of the successors of Bullen named Obadiah,
Obadiah, go ahead. His son, go ahead, down the line.
who regenerated the kingdom and strengthened the Jewish people.
Jewish religion.
Oh, Jewish religion. He invited Jewish scholars to settle in his dominions and founded synagogues and schools.
Watch this.
The people were instructed in the Bible, the Mishpah,
Words of the Bible, go ahead.
and Talmud.
There you go.
So they brought their
There you go. They
witchcraft
brought
with
the
witchcraft
BS with them.
Yeah.
Damn.
To live among them. Why? Because they were hiding from either the Muslims or they were running from the Christians. They were among the Khazars and taught them how to live among the Bible, Mishnah, which is words of the Bible, oral statements, the words of the Bible pretty much, and the Talmud. Go ahead.
And in the divine service of the Hazanim.
Go ahead.
In their writings, the Khazars used Hebrew letters.
Oh! And they're right. They taught them Hebrew letters. Go ahead.
Obadiah was succeeded by his son Hezekiah.
Because they changed their names to our names. Go ahead.
The latter by his son Manasseh.
Manasseh. Go ahead.
Really?
Manasseh by
Hanukkah. Go ahead.
a brother of Obadiah. And
Hanukkah.
And Hanukkah by his son Isaac.
Isaac by
So they go from the Bullens.
Yes.
Bullens to our names.
To our names.
Go ahead.
Wow.
Isaac by what? By his son what?
By his son Moses
Or
Manasseh the
Manasseh
second. Latter by his son Nisi.
Go ahead.
And Nisi by his son Aaron the second.
Go ahead.
Oh, Lord.
King Joseph himself was a son of Aaron and ascended the throne in accordance with the law of the Khazars relating to succession. On the whole, King Joseph's account agrees generally with the evidence given by the Arabic writers of the 10th century, but in detail, it contains a few discrepancies.
Let's jump down to Hasdai. Page 3. Page 3.
Deacon.
Yeah.
These lying pieces of.
I didn't write this.
That's the point.
I don't
Right,
like this.
right?
Page,
So
400 scholars agreed on it.
just going back, because Captain Shema, you had made a point when we're in Israel, and we would ask them, well, how do you track your forefathers' lineage? Oh, I know I am a Jew. Well, what tribe? No, I know I'm a Jew because my dad's my dad.
My mother. So it's
400 scholars just agreed that we seen it right there that the names changed right there.
Yeah.
You lying people. Yeah, go
that
ahead.
you're lying.
You lying. Damn.
Page 3, read the underlined part. Go down to the down right there. Hasdai. Remember Hasdai? Cordoba? Go ahead.
Hasdai Shiprit, Ibn Shiprit, who was foreign minister to Abid al-Rahman. Abid al-Rahman. Go ahead. Sultan of Cordova,
Uh-huh.
in his letter to King Joseph of the Khazars about 960,
So he wrote a letter to King Joseph. Go ahead.
relates that the first information about that kingdom was communicated to him by envoys from Khazar.
So he said, I got some intel on you guys about your background, what you guys are from, where you guys originate. This is his letter to King Joseph. Go ahead.
By envoys from Khorasan,
Khorasan.
and their statements were corroborated by the ambassadors from Byzantium.
And what I heard from them, it was confirmed by the Byzantines that we were in correspondence with regarding you. He was getting intel on them, trying to learn them. Go ahead.
The latter told him that the powerful Khazars were maintaining amicable relations with the Byzantine Empire, with which they carried on by sea a trade in fish, skins, and other wares. The voyage from Constantinople,
Turkey,
occupying 15 days.
So he was getting intel on their trade route, their trade relations with the Byzantines. They wanted in on it also. Let's jump up to taking a keen interest. Up to the right-hand side. Move over. Right up there. Up, right there. Right there, take a keen interest. Right
Taking
there.
a keen interest in everything that related to the kingdom of Khazars, Hasdai begs the king to communicate to him a detailed account of the geography of his country, of its internal constitution, of the customs and occupations of its inhabitants, and especially of the history of his ancestry and of the state.
So he said, tell me what you guys are from, who your ancestors are. Watch what Hasdai says to him. Watch.
In this letter, Hasdai speaks of the tradition according to which the Khazars once dwelt near the Seir Mountains.
The Khazars dwelt near the Seir Mountains. Who was that in the Seir Mountains? Give me Genesis 36.
36, there you go.
Yeah. The Khazars once dwelt near the Seir Mountains?
Wow.
Who was there? Who was in the Seir Mountains?
Let's find out.
Genesis chapter 36, verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir.
Oh, wow.
Just dwelt Esau in Mount Seir, the father of the Edomites. Is that in there too?
Yes, sir.
Read that, please.
Esau is Edom.
Esau is Edom. the father of the Edomites. So these Khazars are Edomites. They migrated further up north. When the kingdom split, what you saying?
No, I was going to say
Verse 9.
Verse 9, yeah, again.
And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites.
There you go.
In Mount Seir.
In Mount Seir.
That's it right there.
There you go. When the kingdom of Israel split into two, Edom was no longer under their rule. Babylon conquered one side, Assyria conquered the other, and they migrated up, and they were free. And established themselves in this area here.
Wow.
And Hasdai knew that and wrote it to them. Now, page 4, go to where I marked it at. You see two little lines on the left-hand side. Because what happened was when Hasdai wrote that letter to Joseph regarding them being of Seir Mountains, Esau created a fake letter of Joseph responding saying, we're from Japheth.
Right.
Oh, no.
We're from Togarmah. Like, really? Okay, let's see what the 400 scholars say about that letter of response. Read that line there.
The Russian academician C.H. Fran and the Swedish scholar De Hosen collected and published in the first quarter of the 19th century all the Arabic testimony on the subject of the Khazars known at that time.
So the Arabs kept the testimony of the conversation between Hasdai and King Joseph because he worked for the Sultan. They kept recorded documents of this conversation. So it was not legendary. It was real. Read on.
The authenticity of the letter of
The
King...
authenticity of the letter between King Joseph and Hasdai, we read earlier, go ahead,
has, however, since been fully established by very material which those scholars had at their disposal.
Go ahead.
Fran acknowledges the genuineness of Hasdai's letter.
He acknowledges the genuineness of Hasdai's letter. But there was another letter that came out of nowhere regarding Joseph's response to them being of the Seir Mountains. Joseph goes, no, we're from Togarmah. We're Japheth. No. Watch.
Fran acknowledges the genuineness of Hasdai's letter, but not that of King Joseph.
Because they made that one up. To cover up the Seir Mountains part. Go ahead.
In the same way, De Hosen, although he found the information of the Arabic and Byzantine writers in conformity with the contents of the Khazar letters, could not help doubting its genuineness. This may be explained by the fact that, as they did not understand Hebrew, they did not care to commit themselves on a question which lay outside of their field of investigation.
So in other words, they could not prove that the letter was true regarding Joseph's response. It was a lie, a cover-up. Okay, now that's all I want. I'm going to go too long. Now, that's all I want on that one. Get me volume 5, same next one, dictionary. Volume 5, page 40 and 41. I didn't write this. This is part 1, by the way. It's going to get worse, part 2.
Damn.
Volume 5, page 40.
You want Edom Idumea?
Yep.
Edom Idumea. Edom is the name which was given to Esau, the firstborn son of Isaac, on the day he sold his birthright to Jacob for a mess of pottage, the reddish color of which gives it its name, Adam.
Adam, which means red. Jump over to page 41. Page 41. I want in the time Nebuchadnezzar. Go down to the bottom on the right-hand side. In the time Nebuchadnezzar.
Yes, sir.
Right there.
Right there, right there.
That's right. Leave it right there.
In the time of Nebuchadnezzar, the Edomites took an active part in the plunder of Jerusalem and in the slaughter of the Jews. It is on account of these cruelties that Edom was so violently denounced by the prophets.
Edom is condemned by the prophets based upon this action. Go ahead.
Edom is mentioned in a cuneiform.
That's Babylonian writings. Go ahead.
In subscriptions in the form of
Udumi.
3 of its kings are known from the same source. Kaus Malacca at the time of Tiglath-Pileser. Malik Ramu.
Kaus is one king's name. Kaus Malacca. King Kaus. That's one. That's Kwas. King Kwas, King Malik, King Ramu, and King Grabi. Go according to the Egyptians. Go there.
Oh, Kaus means like king.
Yeah, Kaus is
Okay.
No, Melech means king. Kaus is their god.
Okay.
Kaus is Odin. Odin is Edom. It's the same god. Kaus, Kwas, same thing. Go to according to the Egyptian. Go down to after the conquest. After the conquest by Judah.
After the conquest of Judah by the Babylonians, the Edomites were allowed to settle in southern Palestine.
Remember, in Hebron, we killed them out of there. Go ahead.
At the same time, they were driven by the Nabateans from Idumea.
And ran into our land to take it over. Go ahead.
In southern Palestine, they prospered for more than 4 centuries.
Go ahead.
Judah's Maccabees conquered their territory for a time.
Mm-hmm.
They were
That's
again
the Apocrypha. They were what?
They were again
subdued
by John Hyrcanus.
Remember that? Go ahead.
By whom they were forced to observe Jewish rites and laws.
Watch this.
They were then incorporated with the Jewish nation.
Uh-huh.
And their country was called by the Greeks, Romans, Idumea.
Come on, Antipater.
With Antipater began the Idumean dynasty that ruled over Judea till its conquest by the Romans. Immediately before the siege.
Jump down to the name Edom. Watch this. Regarding our people who are in the Talmud, they did retain this truth though.
The name
While
Edom,
being Talmudists. Watch this.
The name Edom is used by Talmudists for Roman Empire.
Wow. Damn. Go ahead.
And they applied to Rome every passage of the Bible referring to Edom or to Esau.
Watch this.
In Leviticus, Rabbah, Rome under the name of Edom is compared to a boar, and the symbolic name Seir was used by the poets of the Middle Ages.
Not only for Rome.
Not only for Rome,
but for what?
But also for Christianity.
See? So we knew that the Christianity came from Edom. We knew that. In the Dark Ages, we knew that Christianity, regardless of black folks ruling over Rome, that doctrine, that ideology came from Edomites. We knew that. That came from them. That's all I want. That's all I want. Now, let's see. Get me. Damn. Where we at? Get me, Obadiah chapter 10. Obadiah verse 10. Obadiah verse 10 to 14.
Obadiah verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Condemned. Go ahead. No repentance, no salvation. Condemned. There's no repentance for them at all as a people whatsoever. None. Go ahead.
In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces.
The Babylonians. Go ahead. Our forces. Go ahead. Our wealth. Go ahead.
And foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem. Even thou wast as one of them.
Daughter of them. Daughter of Babylon. Edom. Go ahead.
But thou shouldst not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger.
We were exiled from our land. Go ahead. Became strangers. Go ahead.
Neither shouldst thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldst thou have spoken proudly in the day of his distress.
Raise it to the foundation thereof. Go ahead.
Thou shouldst not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, they should have not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance.
Our land. Go ahead.
In the day of their calamity.
Our wealth, go ahead. Our wealth and so forth. Go ahead. 14.
Neither shouldst thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldst thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of his distress.
So this is the book of Obadiah. Give me the last thing I sent you. What the modern Jews read. Dictionary I sent you is the dictionary. The last thing I sent you on Telegram. The last thing I sent you. It's like a highlight. It's white pages. Let's see who reads Obadiah. Let's see who reads it. It's a screenshot. Go down.
We see a timestamp, D.
What? Yeah, right there. That's it. Click the first. Go back some. Go back to the where this is from. That right there. The cover. Yeah, click that first. Click that. Blow it up so we can see what it is. There we go. Dictionary of the Bible. Antiquities, Geography, and Natural History by William Smith. What year is it? Go down, please. Go down. 18 what? 63. White eyes only.
Yeah, white eyes only.
White eyes only. It's not for us.
Right.
Let's go to the page now. Red heifer. This is an R. This is an R in the dictionary. Go down to, let's see, this is Edomites. Go down to, it's highlighted right there. Blow it up. The book of what?
The book of Obadiah is a favorite study of the modern Jews.
Oh,
Really?
Wait a minute.
the book of Obadiah is a what?
A favorite study of the modern Jews.
Oh, they study this book. Why? Read on.
I wonder
It
why.
is here especially that they read the future fate of their own nation.
Oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
Oh,
minute.
wow.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Where's the bomb, bro?
Man, what's the name of this book?
I already showed you.
I was trying to get my Amazon.
Go back to it again. Go back to it
What's the name of this
again.
book?
Holy shit.
Go back to it again.
I got to screenshot that.
Right there.
Dictionary of the Bible.
By
Wow.
William Smith, 1863.
Hey,
in 3 volumes. This is volume 2. Kabziel and Red Heifer. This is where it ends.
Deacon, the price just went up. It just went up.
Got to get it now, man.
Gotta get it
Yeah,
now.
now.
Better lock it in. Go back. Go back. Go back. You got to see that
This is
again.
Obadiah then. This is Obadiah then. This is under Obadiah, I believe. Go up some. Go up some. Go up to the top. Top. To the top. So I can see this is. Blow it up and see. What word is that on the top? Obadiah? Yep.
Yep,
This is the O
Obadiah.
section. Go down again. Go down. Read it again.
The book of Obadiah is a favorite study of the modern Jews.
Modern Jews in 1800s. That was them at this time, not us. Go ahead.
It is here especially that they read the future fate of their own nation
Edom. Go ahead.
and of the Christians.
Because it's the same people.
Right.
That brought that over here. Move it over. Is there more? Let me see something else. Move it over to the right. Is there something else I want to see? Nah, that's all I want. Nah, that's good enough. That's good enough.
Dropping
give me
bombs.
Iron Curtain real quick. Iron Curtain, page 1819, by John Beatty. The Iron Curtain Over America by John Beatty. I didn't write these things.
Edomites wrote these
This
things.
is Wilkinson Company, 1717 Wood Street. That's the address. Which is the year? The year would be. Okay, it's pretty modern. 1900s. It's okay. I want page. Dang, I wanted that too. That's all right. Page 18.
You see that? There it is. From the top, Deacon.
Yeah, page 18. I want where it's marked at. No, let me see. Yeah, the top. Yeah, the top is fine.
Slavs.
Stop, son.
Yeah, the Slavs.
The Slavs, especially those in the area known as the Ukraine,
Khazar, go ahead.
were engaged in almost constant warfare with the Khazars, and finally, by 1016 AD, destroyed the Khazar government and took a large portion of the Khazar
That's the
territory.
Russians. Jump down, go down to where I marked it at, right there. Let's see, hold on. The Mongols, right there, the Judaized what?
The Judaized Khazars
The Judaized Khazars. Go ahead, underwent what?
underwent further dispersion, both northwestward into Lithuanian and Polish areas.
That's it.
Go ahead, and also where?
And also within Russia proper and the Ukraine.
A bit earlier that the Khazars' history is interwoven with what? The Russian Jews. Remember that?
Right.
And they migrated to Poland. That's where, and then the Germany and so forth, they were sheep herders in Poland. Judaized Khazars. Page 19 now, go up to relations, then the bottom, go up to 18 again. Relations between Slavs, go down. That's the book right there. Go down to the bottom. Bottom, right there. Relations between Slavs.
Relations between Slavs,
Slavs
and
is Russians, pagan Russians, and Judaized Khazars. Go ahead.
the relations between Slavs and Judaized Khazars in their midst were never happy. The reasons were not racial,
But they were the same people. It can't be racial. Go ahead.
for the Slavs had absorbed many minorities,
But were.
but were ideological.
They want them following that nigger religion. That's what the problem was. Go over. Bring it to the top. The rabbis.
Rabbis sent that
For
part?
by Cochran,
Yeah.
Obadiah.
Rabbis sent for by Kakin Obadiah
Kakin
were,
or Kagan. It's the same. Obadiah. Remember that? Obadiah. Go ahead. Well, what?
were educated in and were zealots for the Babylonian Talmud.
Look at that. Damn. They were zealots. The Khazars were zealots for the Babylonian Talmud. And the Russians are saying that thing is corrupt and stupid. We don't want that here.
Right.
Russians are saying hell no. Go ahead.
which, after long labors by many hands, had been completed in December 2nd, 499.
Jump down to the Talmud now. What it says there, it says History of the Jews by Professor H. Greats. I own that as well. It's here presented. Go down to the bottom. It mentions the history of the Talmud. Right there. Go. Right there. Talmud. Watch this.
The Talmud must not be regarded as an ordinary work.
The Talmud must not be regarded as an ordinary work because the Jews had the Talmud, and what we would do is we would take and we would add more stuff to it. When the kids got a hold of it, they added more stuff to it also. Watch this.
Composed of 12 volumes. It possesses absolutely no similarity to any other literary production, but forms, without any figure of speech, a world of its own.
It's made up.
Which must be judged by its peculiar laws.
They have their own laws in the Talmud. Watch this.
The Talmud contains much that is frivolous, of which it treats with great gravity and seriousness.
So it treats things that are stupid and of no value with much seriousness and gravity. Go ahead.
It further reflects the various superstitions and practices.
It reflects further various superstitious practices like sorcery and so forth. Right. Go ahead. And views of what?
And views of its Persian birthplace.
Views of its Persian birthplace.
Wait a minute.
Babylon.
Wait a minute.
Views of its Persian birthplace, Babylon. Go ahead.
Which presumed the efficacy and
of demonical
Efficacy
of demonical
medicines, of magic, incantations, miraculous cures, and interpretations of dreams.
Russians said, get that stupidness out of here. That's what they said. The Russians said, ban this thing. It's stupid and evil. Go ahead.
It also contains isolated instances of uncharitable judgments and decrees against the members of other nations
and religions. Like black people.
Right.
And Goyim.
Right.
Exploit the Goyim. A Goyim's life is not worth more than the Jew's fingernail.
Right.
All of that stuff is in there. Go ahead.
And finally, it favors an incorrect exposition of the scriptures.
It favors an incorrect understanding of the scriptures. Go ahead.
Accepting, as it does, tasteless misrepresentations.
Tasteless misrepresentations. Go ahead.
More than 6 centuries lie petrified in the Talmud. Small wonder then that the sublime and the common, the great and the small, the grave and the ridiculous, the altar and the ashes, the Jewish and the heathenish be discovered side by side.
No difference between the two. Wow. Go ahead.
The Babylonian Talmud is especially distinguished from the Jerusalem or the Palestine Talmud by the flights of thought, the penetration of the mind, flashes of genius, which rise and vanish again.
Because the Palestine Talmud was more closer to the Bible. That Babylon was all pagan. Mingled with some Bible, but mostly pagan. Go ahead.
It was for this reason that the Babylonian, rather than the Jerusalem Talmud, became the fundamental possession of the Jewish race.
Damn.
Its life, breath, and very soul.
Because it was evil and required no commandments.
That's why they don't know what it
is. Israel said, the hell with that damn Jerusalem Talmud, right. Babylon Talmud, no laws, BS in there, witchcraft, sorcery. We embrace that more. They be taught to the Khazars.
That's why they don't go by Torah. They go by the Talmud.
Right, they go by the Talmud. Same thing. That's where it came from. So,
wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna end it on that right there.
Damn. Nominal Jews, guilty. Nominal Jews, guilty.
Wait a minute.
We hold you in contempt. We hold you not in contempt.
Gotta give a hand for that.
Contempt.
Hold on, Deke.
We hold you in contempt, yeah.
Hold on, contempt.
So tell me, Deke. This is just part 1, right? I know you got a
part
part 2.
one.
Oh, you got a messed up.
This only a couple of books.
Just only a couple books.
Only but
like 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Got 4 more to go.
Damn. Wow.
Hey, but out of the 4 that brought, 400 scholars done already teamed y'all.
Yeah.
Imposters,
One book, 400 scholars.
You're done.
Wow. Damn.
Wow.
So, the challenge was still on. Deacon Malachi, issued the challenge. Bring forth your proof. Show us. You don't have to call us conspiracy theories because you're calling 400 scholars a conspiracy theories.
Your own scholars.
You're calling your own people conspiracy theorists and anti-Semitics and what else they say? replacement theology, all that garbage.
yeah.
Just bring forth your proof. Show us that you're the real Jew.
Wait, I'm sorry. One more thing, real quick. Y'all mind, real quick. One more book. Just give me the pictorial history of the history of Israel. Pictorial history of Israel.
Yes.
Pictorial history of Israel over the first page. You have to cover the book first. There we go, right there.
Yep, that's it.
Now, blow it up. Now, you look there, the cover, you see the Israelis on the cover, The Pictorial History of Israel by Jacob A. Reuben, Meyer Barkai. 2 Jewish men put this book together with the star of Rothschild and everything, right? Go to the very first page of the book. The very first. Let's see who's in the book.
Bam!
Oh, wow!
Bam!
Wow!
Drop a bomb!
Wow!
Drop a bomb!
Wow!
Drop a bomb! Nominal, guilty. Nominal, you guilty.
Who hold y'all in contempt, man? Damn. Read the bottom of the screen. What's in the bottom of the screen right there?
This mural depicting Israel's bondage in Egypt.
Wow. Yep. Go to the cover of the book again. Go to the cover. Go to the cover again. Blow it up some again.
Who the hell are you?
Who is this?
Right. Who the hell are you?
Who are you? Right. Jacob and Meyer. Who are you? Go back to the first page again.
Hell no.
Bam. Wow.
Bam.
Wow. And this is a black and white picture. It's black as hell. It's black and white picture. It's still black.
It's still black.
Right.
It's black and white. Read the bottom again.
This mural depicting Israel's bondage in Egypt was found in the Theban tomb Rekhmire, governor and vizier at the time of Thutmose III.
You were there at the time. Go ahead.
About 1450 BCE.
What does it say right there?
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. Exodus 1:13 and 14.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
wow.
Messed up.
Hey, Deke, you know what's crazy? I got that book.
Right.
When you flip through the pages of that book, you see the pictures. Yeah. Everybody's an Edomite.
Everybody.
Yeah.
There's no other brother or picture like this in the whole book.
Besides that.
But he put,
that
the
one.
Lord had him put it in the very first page, that right there.
That's
Our
right.
people black. You can't get a white
can't
boy
take
out of
that
that.
Hey,
Because the clothes are white.
Brother on the end, he got a bush. The one bending over like that, he got a fro. That's
Yeah.
Oh, you got a fro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
They got to explain these things.
Yep.
Yeah,
So when
come
Gates
explain
said with the
these
Jews, the blood of Christ, you got to explain this.
Right.
Right, because there is no Jew also. We Jew also. No.
Jew period.
We all.
If we the Jews, you can't be the Jews
Yeah,
too.
you can't. That's the 13 tribes, like Arthur
Right.
said.
Right.
Then you may be. All right, so that's it. Other than
All
that.
praise to the Most High.
3 more books to go.
All
3 more books to go. 3 more.
All praise. You said 3 more parts?
3 more books to go. 3 more
Three more
books to go.
books. All right, all praise.
One more part to go.
So, Deke, do you want to give? I think y'all do arms. You give your PayPal address.
Oh, yeah,
for
you
arms?
can. It's up there. I don't know.
I know. Do they have that? Y'all have
They
that?
usually do announcements. They usually do announcements, so they have, you know.
Oh, it's up right
but
now.
It's up.
It's up now?
so
Okay,
good,
so what you see on the screen, shouts to
It's the-
Our Hidden History. Shouts to y'all, brothers and sisters. Shouts to Officer Abaddon, his album coming out, man. The album's fire. You better get it.
Right.
That's right.
My Throne. What's it called? My Throne? Yeah,
My throne something.
My Throne, My Wisdom. My Throne, My Wisdom.
My Wisdom, right.
Just get it. Just buy it. The album is good. The album is great. You can subscribe to Our Hidden History Radio, IUIC Philadelphia, in the classroom. You could donate on PayPal to IUIC.Philadelphia@IsraelUnite.org. That's IUIC.Philadelphia@IsraelUnite.org. Booster Club, IUIC.fundraising@IsraelUnite.org. Last but not least, subscribe to IUIC TV to get exclusive content from the leadership of IUIC. But once again, if y'all want more of these books and information, you sign into Our Hidden History on Our Hidden History Radio, Our Hidden History Radio on YouTube, all right? And there you go. So now you, brother, hopefully if you're watching, you got the books. I gave you the books. I gave you the ammunition. I gave you the scriptures.
That's right.
So now you can't come in there
Research.
sounding stupid. Now you know what we're talking. Now you know what you're talking about.
Right.
All right. If you can't do it, have us do it for you.
That's right.
Hey, share this with Yee. Share it with Kyrie.
Right. Put it all over your
this
social
show.
Inbox
All
them,
over your
DM
social-
them.
Do something.
All right. And with that,
Oh, and thanks. All praise to Patient Saints Radio man for having me here.
all praises.
The platform, praises. Shout out to the IT team. The excellent job. Thank you. All praise to the Lord. Good to be here. I'll see y'all again in Lord's will next week. We'll see y'all next week.
Shalom.
Shalom, Israel.
Christ bless.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know your history, history, history?
Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know your history, history, history?
Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way.